Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 103.3 FM. Joe Reinagle, Jason Minix, The Blitz.
Man, what a Monday it has already been between the tournament, Major League Baseball, the NFL. It is nuts. It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. And I keep waiting for Schefter to tweet. He literally just got off the set off ESPN with the phone to his ear. So what's next, Adam? Tweet, damn it.
I love this time of year. And, it just shows the NFL is king, because I was filling out my bracket early, but I couldn't do it because all of the stuff that keeps coming in from the NFL free agency period. And it's that time you can't sign a contract, but you can agree to one.
Yes.
And there has been a lot of agreements to contracts all over the place.
Well, you got to wonder what Schefter is doing that requires him to get up off the set. He's up there with Rutledge and Orlovsky. He's on the set and literally, we don't have the audio on in studio, but phone to ear, and he's just walking off. Well, all right, something big. Brady's already back. We know that.
Well,
Cedric Wilson is a Dolphin.
It was J.C. Jackson from the Patriots. Now he's going to the Chargers, signs an $80 million contract.
That was a tweet 3 minutes ago.
He won't sign that.
Refresh. Refresh Twitter. Refresh.
It's crazy. All this stuff that's happening on day one when teams are legally allowed to tamper is what they're calling it, right? So, and they are tampering big time, and not good news for the Cowboys today.
Well, as Jory Epstein just tweets out, with J.C. Jackson getting 5 years, $82.5 million, what is Diggs going to get from the Cowboys? $1 billion when he hits the market in 2024? There's just so much going on, and we're going to keep you updated over the next couple of hours here on the Blitz. But man, free agency, big time. Now we got to go back over the weekend, which seems like a year ago at this point, that Amari Cooper got traded to the Cleveland Browns.
Boy, he really pissed Jerry Jones off, didn't he?
You don't get a shot, you go to Cleveland. Is that what it comes down to?
Well, that was like Pop sending Kawhi Leonard to Toronto.
Yeah.
I'll make you as far away from Los Angeles as I possibly can.
Here you come. Cleveland. You thought Dak was interesting. Wait till you catch passes from Baker. Oh,
wow.
Man. Now, the good news, and I know there are all kinds of people not happy with the Amari Cooper trade because they didn't get enough in return. They're eating 100% of that money. So for the Cowboys, that was worth it. It's like La'el Collins. They're not going to find a trade partner for him. But if they release him, they'll have to eat some of that money. There were teams like Cleveland that wanted Amari Cooper and didn't want to compete for him, so you trade. La'el Collins doesn't have that same market.
Who's Dak Prescott going to throw the football to this year?
Michael Gallup in his new rich contract.
Yeah, well, when Michael Gallup gets there about, October, I guess he can throw the football to him then. So it's CD is finally going to have to prove if he's the guy or not, because what else do you do? Or do you let Noah Brown take it over?
Well, CD's got to be the man.
He has to.
You were drafted to be the man. You've got to be the man now. Cedric Wilson, I know they wanted to keep him, but he ends up with $22 million from Miami. They also signed Teddy Bridgewater, the Dolphins, due to a one-year deal. They got Tua, but keep in mind, Cedric Wilson's pretty damn good thrower of the football. He threw a couple of passes with the Cowboys. So if it's Tua in there at quarterback, it might be Cedric to whoever their other wide receivers are. He's that multi-threat kind of wide receiver.
Happy for Cedric Wilson,
yes.
but it's not good news for the Cowboys, although I think it was Calvin Watkins or Clarence Hill just a few minutes ago tweeted out that a Cowboys spokesperson said that this is not surprising to the Cowboys, that they knew that Wilson was going to get some offers and they just weren't they just couldn't compete with it and didn't want to.
The idea that with Michael Gallup's deal, you've got CeeDee Lamb on a rookie contract. You do have Noah Brown. You still have Tony Pollard, who could play some slot receiver. And remember last year in Oxnard when was it CD that got hurt in training camp? Whoever went over the fence. You had Pollard playing some wide receiver. We all thought we might see more of that during the regular season, which we really didn't. Oh, maybe that's going to be a part of the plan. I don't know, but they've got options. But also with the draft coming up, we know they need offensive line help. We know they need tight end help. And don't be surprised at this point if they end up taking another wide receiver in the draft, because wide receivers, and when you look at the market, are becoming like running backs. Remember, there was that stretch where, running backs on rookie deals were great. Then when it was time to get paid, except Zeke, they let him walk and you just go draft another one.
Right.
There's so many wide receivers out there. You look at Christian Kirk just signed a deal that basically pays him $18 million a year in Jacksonville. Christian Kirk.
Unbelievable
Money, right? Who else is going to pay Christian Kirk
Nobody
that kind of money? If with incentives, he can make up to $21 million a year. Now, granted, those incentives often hard to reach, but the total value of his deal, whether he actually makes it or not, makes Christian Kirk the third highest paid wide receiver in the NFL.
That's just fascinating and unbelievable to me that happened. But Jacksonville is trying to revamp things very quickly. And I think they came to agreement with 4 different players today. One of them, an offensive lineman, and I think a couple of defensive players, if I'm not mistaken, too. So Jacksonville trying to revamp and do it in a hurry and get Trevor Lawrence some stuff while he is on his rookie deal.
Yep.
So they're spending some money. The San Diego Chargers spending a lot of money. They're going out trying because they have to. They really have no choice in the division that they're in. It's a monster right now. So they're going out and doing some stuff. And it seems like everybody is. But, I don't say this to be or try to start a fight with Cowboy fan, but the Cowboys aren't. They're not doing anything.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I mean, the reality is the Cowboys and their current cap structure.
They got $20 million now.
Sort of. I mean, I didn't expect coming in, neither did you, that they would be major players today. The guy, they found a trade partner for Amari Cooper. They re-signed Michael Gallup, which looks to be a very team-friendly deal. Only $2 million this year, although over the life of the 5-year deal, Michael Gallup has generational wealth now for his family. But if I'm Michael Gallup and I see what Christian Kirk signed, I'm calling my agent going, what the hell, dude?
Well, you still can, I guess, because you can't sign it until Wednesday.
Yeah, but it's all agreed to. But I look at it, they've got to find a trade partner for La'el Collins. There are reports out there that say that probably isn't going to happen, although Ed Werder a couple of days ago, yesterday or some point over the weekend, tweeted that there were a handful of teams interested in La'el Collins. And I'm sure there's interest, but at this point, are they going to find a trade partner? They've got a day and a half to get it done, essentially.
Well, I don't know. And my concern would be if I'm a potential trade partner for La'el Collins, what is his health like? What does he have left in the tank? From what we saw last year, he may not have much left. I don't know. Maybe a change of scenery is good for some guys, and maybe that will help him moving forward somewhere else. But I look at what the Cowboys have got to do. They were already thin at offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
They've got to address that somehow, some way. If that's not going to be through free agency, then you're going to have to try and go with some young talent and hopefully get it done that way. Now you're talking about wide receivers. They got to do something there. 2 guys, Gallup and CeeDee Lamb, aren't going to get it done. And are you really going to rely on Noah Brown to be a part of that trio? I'm not sure. So, and quite frankly, Jason, Michael Gallup had to have been a friendly deal because they are rolling the dice with this guy.
How do you say that?
I know ACLs aren't what they used to be, and they're not the career killer but you don't know what he's going to be like when he gets back. And he's not going to be back until at least August, we're told. And then what? How long is it going to take since then? So he's not going to be in any of the OTAs, probably going to miss most of training camp, preseason. So do you trot him out there game 1 and he's going to be ready to go?
Probably not, to be fair. I doubt he'll be ready for the opener, but he's going to be close to it. But when you look at Michael Gallup throughout his career, he's been a healthy dude. Last year, he only got to play in 9 games because of injuries. Outside of that, his first 3 years, 16 games, 14 games, 16 games. So it's not like he's had a history of injury issues.
Sure.
Last year he had the calf injury, and then of course his ACL late in the year. So when I look at Michael Gallup, the surgery, all the reports are, what would they call it, a clean tear, which makes it easier to repair. Whatever the case is,
Sure.
it's not like he's a guy that would have a nickname street clothes at some point.
I don't
right?
think so.
So 1 year, one injury, bad luck, and you go from there.
Sure you do, but the injury that we're talking about is an ACL.
Mhm.
It's not like he sprained his ankle and was out a few games. This is a major thing, and that's what I'm saying. You just don't know until you see the guy back on the field what kind of shape he's going to be in, what kind of moves he's going to be able to make, and is he going to be back? I'm a big fan of Michael Gallup. I always have been. I thought he should have been a bigger part of the Cowboys' plan earlier on. And maybe that was his fault, maybe a little bit of the Cowboys' fault. I'm not sure, but I like Michael Gallup. I hope he can be a star. But right now, nobody knows.
Nobody knows. And I think about, they did re-sign Noah Brown. Malik Turner is still a free agent, or did he get picked up by somebody? I'm not sure if he's still in the mix.
I think he's still in the mix.
And Simi Fehoko, that tall wide receiver they drafted a year ago, is still around. So, I mean, and again, they'll go find some. There's lots of receivers out there. So you've got CeeDee Lamb, who's got to step up and be the guy, the one. And you've got Michael Gallup. I think they're okay there. And the production versus the cost of one Amari Cooper versus those other guys, do they think for the money they're going to get similar production without Amari Cooper? And, it's interesting. All the comments over the weekend about Amari Cooper, and there's all kinds of stuff out there. But think about us as Cowboy fans. And I did this over the weekend when you're reading all these things, because I was not happy that Amari Cooper left, right? I'm not. I'm a big Amari Cooper fan. But you go back and you think about, remember when Amari Cooper was great at home and disappeared on the road?
Yeah, true.
And granted, as a wide receiver, somebody's got to throw you the ball. Your production is based on somebody else.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of times, was he not getting open? Was he not getting targeted? There were some things there that you go, they got what they needed out of Amari Cooper when they did. It was a smart trade for the time that they did it and what he meant for Dak at the time. But I think we all knew he was not long for the Dallas Cowboys with his current contract. But when it finally happens, you see he gets traded. And then you see he gets traded basically for what, a fifth or a sixth. And their history of fifth-round draft picks is so glorious. You go, well, that was a waste. But Cleveland is eating 100% of the money. That makes it a good trade for the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, you look at Amari Cooper, too, and no fan, I really don't sit on the fence either way. But, this is the second team now that's given up on Cooper. Right? The Raiders gave up on him, basically. Didn't want him around.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think he rubbed Jerry Jones the wrong way, too, with the whole, vaccine thing that he didn't do. Missed a couple of games during the regular season. And I think that Jerry Jones didn't forget that. And he didn't want Amari Cooper around the Dallas Cowboys anymore. So I think that's all part of it. So you wonder about Cooper's locker room. How is he there? How is he as a teammate? And is he a problem? And is football really what Amari Cooper wants to do? And I say that, I know that sounds weird, but is it? Because, I think Cooper wants to be some kind of a emperor business guy.
And he is, and I'm fine with that. I still want Amari Cooper on my football team. But the production has to match the salary, and it just didn't. And for the Cowboys, with the other needs that they have, and if they felt like with like when they traded for Amari Cooper, I don't know that they thought, well, in a couple of years we're gonna regret this contract. CeeDee Lamb fell in her lap, and that kind of changed the outlook in the future. And Michael Gallup developing the way he did, when you sit in the room and you evaluate honestly, I think they could afford to let Amari Cooper go, because even then, when you look at and we often on this show, for whatever reason, bring up Devontae Adams. That guy always finds a way to get open and makes big plays. And he's got a quarterback that's going to get him the ball.
Yeah.
We've got a quarterback in Dallas who throws to the guys that are open. I can't say that he always throws guys open, but Amari Cooper disappeared too much. And when the Cowboys were doing their evaluations, they looked at that. They had to have looked at that. And get yourself open. You're going against the number one defensive back. Get yourself open.
I wish we could go back and look at tape and see if that was the case or not. I remember a lot of Cowboys games where Prescott just doesn't have any time. He had no time to let plays develop and receivers get out. That's why he dumped the ball off so much to Dalton Schultz and got him franchise tag, and he's going to stick around a while and probably sign a long-term deal depending on what the Cowboys do in the draft. But I just don't know if it was Cooper's fault, if it was Prescott's fault, if it's Kellen Moore's fault, or a little bit of everybody in there. But you can blame Cooper for not showing up in games. CeeDee Lamb didn't show up either, if you're going to look at it that way.
Yeah.
So it seemed to me that Cedric Wilson was the guy that showed up more than both of those guys.
Well, again, though, the Cowboys offense is known for taking what the defense is giving you, and the defenses gave you Cedric Wilson. They were able to take Amari out. They were able to, in a lot of ways, take CD out, who basically his routes were all long downfield runs, and with no time for Dak, those plays didn't develop. But the defenses gave you a Cedric Wilson by matchup and gave you a tight end, which is why your tight end for the Dallas Cowboys had so many catches and yards, and I believe was tied with Amari Cooper for touchdowns last year. So the Cowboys' offensive philosophy is, what is the defense giving us? That's what we're going to eat on.
Well, and Cowboys have always done that with tight ends. I mean, they've always had that one guy, whether it's Novacek or Witten, or now maybe, Dalton Schultz, if he becomes that guy. So that is part of the Cowboys thing, but they've always had a downfield wide receiver as well. It seems like they always have. And this year, they just didn't seem to have that, at least after early November. CeeDee Lamb kind of disappeared after that, and nobody could find out where he was. They thought Amari Cooper was going to be that guy. Turns out, I guess he's not. So we're going to find out, and I'm going to give CD the benefit of the doubt here. Great college football player, but so far he hasn't been a good pro football player. He's got his opportunity now to be the number one guy. Does he take advantage of it?
He's got to. He's got to. And the Cowboys are trusting him that he is going to be that guy. I got to believe in the exit interviews or at some point before March, before the combine, they had conversations with CD. Here's the keys to the car. Are you ready to be number one? Are you? You got to believe he knew that this was coming, that Dak Prescott knew that this was coming, and that those two agreed that, all right, if this is the plan, we're going to make it work. I got to believe that Dak Prescott, with the contract that he now has, if they were to say, hey, this is where we're going, and he was against it, they'd have figured out some other way to free up some money.
Well, I hope somebody is working with CeeDee Lamb, because he's going to have to be an outside guy. You can't play your number one guy in the slot. Can you? I mean, realistically, no. There's not a number one guy that is primarily a slot receiver. CeeDee Lamb is better from the slot position than he is from the outside. So he's got work to do. And if I'm looking at it as a Cowboy fan, if I'm looking at it that way, I'm a little bit concerned about what's happening there. Number one, because of Michael Gallup's injury. Number two, CeeDee Lamb has showed me nothing.
What do you guys think on the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776, or on Twitter, tweet at Joe. He's at Joe Reinagel 210. You can tweet at me at Jason Minix. So much with the Cowboys. As we sit here right now on Pi Day, on the glorious day that is March 14th, the Cowboys are a worse football team than when they walked off the field after losing in the first round of the playoffs to the San Francisco 49ers.
No question.
That doesn't mean when they get to Oxnard that they won't be a better football team. But as they sit right now, they are not a better football team. And by all accounts, when we look at who's left and who they're looking at adding, right? I saw a tweet a little while ago. They're close to a deal with Randy Gregory, but Denver is in the mix. We still don't know what's going on with DeMarcus Lawrence, right? They still haven't replaced a linebacker.
Mhm.
They still haven't. They're not a better football team today than they were when the season ended.
They're not. They're not even close. In fact, I would say they've taken a couple of steps backward than when the season ended. So they've got some ground to make up. And of course, Cowboy. It's funny, Jason, because we always make fun of Spurs Twitter, or at least I do.
Yeah, you do.
I found out today that Cowboys Twitter is just as bad, because every Cowboy fan knows more than everybody else. Every Spurs fan knows more than everybody else, and know exactly what to do. And it's just amazing to me how this thing works. So I found that out, and maybe that's every fan base. Maybe it's Bengals Twitter and Rams Twitter and everybody's Twitter.
I want to let you know a little secret about
Please
Sports
do.
Talk Radio. Because you're what, month 3 now?
Month 3, yeah.
Month 3
Yes.
into the full-time radio business.
Yes.
Welcome to the off season.
It's been fun.
Which is a lot more fun sometimes than in season.
I love it.
Because people ask all the time, well, what do you guys talk about when there's no games? This is the best time of
really
Sports Talk
is.
Radio.
It
I don't
really
care
is.
what off season we're talking about. Football season, basketball season. You think Spurs Twitter is bad now. Wait till you get into the off season and the draft is coming and free agents are available. Baseball. In baseball right now, I keep refreshing because all this NFL news is great. What the hell is Carlos Correa going to do? Is he really coming back to Houston? That's what I want to know. The offseason is more fun and more entertaining and more engaging than the actual regular season because we all know how to fix it. Well, you're all better general managers than the idiot that actually has that title on his business card for whatever franchise it is. There's a guy that sits in that seat every morning from 7 to 10 named Rob Thompson. You might hear him on R&R in the morning. He once said being a GM is easy. And he believes it because we all have ideas on how to fix it. We all know what's best for our team. We all have ideas, and none of us are wrong.
That's true.
None of us.
Well, that's the beauty of sports. Everybody can have an opinion. Everybody can know what's best. And, and what I love about Sports Talk Radio and Twitter is that guys like Frank Rodriguez throwing out stats at me with CD Lamb here. This is a great 2021 Dallas catches. 79 yards? I think he's got this wrong, but he's trying to make a case for CD Lamb. Problem is, Frank, is that after November 6th, CD Lamb went into hibernation. So when it mattered the most, he disappeared. Look up those stats.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't let facts get in the way of a good opinion. Good take. Whatever.
I love you, Frank.
It's good stuff. There's so much to talk about. That Tom Brady, 40 days with the wife and kids, said, screw this, I'm going back to work. Gas prices are how much? Screw this, I've got to go back to work.
Yeah, I don't think Brady's worried about gas prices, but it's the wife and kid thing. Maybe that honeydew list was long.
She makes more than he does. I look at it. Is anybody really surprised that he unretired?
No.
Because even when he retired, it was almost, Schefter tweeted it. So then he put his message out so close at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Mike Florio about a week or so ago speculate that he would come back at some point if quarterback got hurt or maybe with San Francisco. But Tom was clear. He's coming back to run it back one more time with Tampa Bay. And he needed to make the decision in the announcement what he did because of this, the start of free agency.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is very interesting that he is unretired. And some dude spent over $500,000 on a piece of memorabilia over the weekend.
Yeah.
What was Tom Brady's final touchdown pass? That ball sold for, $518,000 at auction?
Something like that. I think I'd be calling Tom Brady and say, hey, dude, you got to at least sign it for me or do something. I paid $500,000 for this thing, and now it's not worth 50 cents.
Well, it's still worth something.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's still
but if Brady would sign it.
It's a Tom Brady touchdown ball.
Yeah, how do you know?
Well, now you just count it from his first retirement. It was the last touchdown before his first retirement because he might become that guy.
Well, saying his retirement was shorter than Major League Baseball's lockout. There were all kinds of sayings today or over the weekend. But I gotta be honest with you. When I saw that yesterday, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. There's no way. And then it was like 30 seconds later, it's like, I'm happy about it. More Tom Brady in the NFL is a good thing.
I look at Tom Brady, says, okay, let's see. All the good quarterbacks are in the AFC.
Right.
It's Aaron Rodgers and now Dak Prescott, Matt Stafford, right? We lost to Matt Stafford on the final play of the game, and they went and won the Super Bowl.
Right.
Who am I really competing with in the NFC? Deshaun Watson? He's apparently talking with New Orleans and Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Although if you look at all the tweets, amongst other teams.
Yes.
And I think that's key there, because I look at both Carolina and New Orleans and say, why? And Tampa Bay was on the list for Deshaun. But if you're Tampa Bay, do you take Deshaun Watson at 26 or go with Tom Brady for one more year at 45?
Well, obviously they made their decision, and
which makes me wonder, were they out of the Deshaun sweepstakes pretty early?
It could be, but you had a pretty interesting theory that you shared with me earlier. You want to share it with everybody? Or you want to wait till we come back?
This is just spaghetti on the wall. I wonder if Tom Brady's coming back with Tampa Bay because they retain his rights just to get traded to San Francisco so he could play for his boyhood team, because they're going to let Jimmy Garoppolo go.
I don't think that's far-fetched. So maybe they are still in the Deshaun Watson conversation. Brady goes to San Francisco.
Except for the comments that we've heard over the last 24 hours that a lot of guys that were free agents with Tampa Bay have re-signed with Tampa Bay because Tom FaceTimed them yesterday and said, I'm coming back.
And a great story out of Vegas, too, that we're going to have to share regarding Tom Brady and his return.
Yeah, there's going to be some interesting things there. You know, there's a wide receiver for Atlanta that's going, really, huh? You guys pay attention to this gambling stuff. Yeah, we'll talk about all that as we continue here on the Blitz. Hey, if you're missing teeth, maybe you're a little embarrassed when you laugh or smile. You know, those missing teeth can do more than just embarrass you when you smile, because it can also affect how you use your mouth. If you're having trouble speaking, eating, chewing properly, you know you can correct those issues with dental implants that look natural, they feel natural, they stay securely in place, and they're built to last a lifetime with proper care. You need to go see Dr. Mark Havercorn over at River City Oral Surgery. He's an oral surgeon and a medical doctor who specializes in all types of oral surgery, including implants. In fact, last year alone, he placed over 1,200 dental implants. No better doctor to go see for implants. And River City Oral Surgery, they just do things differently, better, because you know exactly what you're going to pay when you show up. Go to rivercityoms.com. You'll see all the prices listed there on his website. Everything from what one implant costs to the entire jaw. If you need your wisdom teeth out, any kind of oral surgery, it's all there. He doesn't take your insurance. It's direct care. They do offer financing. And if you have dental insurance, they'll help you file a claim. And chances are he's going to be less expensive than those places with your insurance. That's just the way it works. It's incredible how he is doing his healthcare practice. Stop feeling embarrassed when you smile. Call River City Oral Surgery, 210-778-0002, and tell them Jason Minnick sent you. For comfortable, natural-looking implants, call River City Oral Surgery, 210-778-0002, or online, rivercityoms.com.
It is March Madness, and the Aggies are mad. Did they get screwed?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that right after the Sports Center update. Busy weekend for the Dallas Cowboys. They traded wide receiver Amari Cooper to the Cleveland Browns for a fifth-round pick and a swap of six-rounders. Cleared $16 million in cap space. Also gave offensive tackle Lael Collins permission to seek a trade. And they re-signed wide receiver Michael Gallup, 5 years, $62.5 million. Houston Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson reportedly set to meet with the Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints within the next couple of days. Several other teams have also shown interest in Watson since he was not indicted on criminal charges, of course, stemming from those 22 civil lawsuits for sexual misconduct. Spurs back in action tonight. They'll take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Tip-off set for 7:30. I'm Joe Reinagle for San Antonio Sports Star.
You know, Hill Electric is available to you 24/7 for residential and commercial needs. So if you need an electrician, call Hill Electric. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. If you need additional outlets or USB ports, you got a fuse that is always blowing a flickering light, maybe you need some outdoor lights installed, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price. Never a service charge and always free estimates. If you're having to rework your office, let Hill Electric design your socially distant space to ensure each workstation has the proper electrical needs. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074, 404-9074, or hill-electric.com. You can talk low carb all you want, but if you don't have a lineup of great tasting snacks behind you, you're not going to win the keto game. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds are high protein and low carb. Plus, they're low sugar, gluten-free, and naturally loaded in collagen. So it is a no-brainer. Get the bold flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at H-E-B and online at southernrecipesmallbatch.com.
Southern Recipe pork rinds.
Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
Do you check your Google search results regularly? You should. People often get their first impression of you or your business online. Negative comments on the internet can impact your life and your livelihood. Take control of your online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. It may reveal negative posts from an ex-employee, upset patient or client, news article, legal issue, or even exposed personal information right there in your Google search results. Uncover what's lurking on the internet about you with reputationdefender.com's patented scan and get your free reputation report card. Or for immediate assistance with your reputation, call 800-401-6681. Our cutting-edge technology helps make your Google search results look their best. Call 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681. 800-401-6681. Or take the free scan at reputationdefender.com.
If you have a small business, Staples has your sign.
Banners for my bakery?
Staples has your sign.
Oh, posters for my new pet store.
Floor decals for a pharmacy.
Every day, Staples associates help every kind of small business create bold signs to make big impressions. And now get $10 off custom signs, banners, and posters when you spend $50 or more. This is your sign, so print it big at Staples. Ends 5/28. Visit staplesconnect.com/thisisyoursign for details.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
This is The Blitz with Joe Reinagle and Jason Minix. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
How many brackets have you filled out?
Just one.
Just one.
Yeah.
Will it be the same bracket in all of them?
No, I don't think so. Maybe the final, we get down to the final four, there might be the same or similar. But I like to play around with the first rounds, and pick some upsets in a bracket and go with some favorites in a bracket. So we'll see what happens. The ones that matter, though, I'll spend a little more time. And by that, I mean the ones we put down a little something.
If there's some scratch on it, we're going to.
Yeah, we'll pay attention a little more.
We'll look at those. So I've got a history of bracket comes out, I fill one out. And in most cases, I hate my bracket. And because you go through, you pick some upsets, and you go from there. It is the Blitz. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix here on San Antonio Sports Star. We do have our bracket challenge up at sasportstar.com where you can win some money.
$1 million, huh?
You can go to the Twin Peaks bracket challenge.
Yes.
You can go there. We're going to be at Twin Peaks Thursday and Friday all day, halftime, and then the
Nice.
Blitz. I think on Thursday, I heard them say we're at 151. I didn't get any of the notes today, Edwin. Do we have those? You produced the show. You don't have those for us? Okay. I'm sure they're somewhere. I just don't have them.
Yeah, I heard 151 and 410.
Yeah, and then Friday, we're at Park North all day. On Wednesday, we're going to be out at the Roo Pub.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So we're out 3 days this week.
Yes, we are.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, what's Park North? Where is that? Is that days? That's not Days
no,
of
no,
Allah.
that would be Days of Allah.
Oh,
Park
okay.
North
Well, I didn't know if that was some kind of shopping center. Park North.
Yeah,
at
it
Days
is
of
Park
Allah?
North. It's there
Okay.
at Blanco.
At
Over there
Blanco.
by North Star Mall.
Okay.
In the old Central Park Mall.
Why don't you just say Blanco?
Because they call it the Park North
Well,
location.
because I would know where the heck I'm going then if you just say Blanco.
Yeah, it's on Blanco.
Okay, thanks.
Do you know where 151 is?
I do. Yes, I do. And I know where that Twin Peaks is.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
So we're there all day Thursday.
Okay.
Which is also St. Patrick's Day.
It is.
And then we'll be there Friday.
There'll probably be some green beer flowing.
I imagine there's going to be green beer flowing all over town.
Probably.
And then Roo Pub on Wednesday. So
Wow, that'll be
a lot
good.
of opportunities
Nice.
this week to come hang out with us.
Yeah, please do. And some great places.
And you look at the bracket. I got my final four. And I feel better after seeing Jay Billis on TV. He almost went chalk. And that's why when you're filling out your bracket, well, hell, I can't have 3 1s in the yeah, I mean, because it never happens that it goes chalk. So I've got on my first bracket, subject to change Thursday at 11.
Okay.
By Thursday at 11. But right now, in just my first attempt at just, all right, the bracket's out, boom, 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 here it is. I've got Gonzaga, Kentucky, Wisconsin, and Tennessee in my final four, and Kentucky beating Wisconsin in the championship game. Then I went, I've got Kentucky winning the whole damn thing.
Wow.
That seems a little odd to me.
Wow. You're that Calipari guy.
I don't know. I mean, I've got Kansas losing early because they always seem to have a high seed and don't get it done.
Why don't you just stay with that bracket? I think it's a great bracket, Jason, and especially in the group we're in together. Just keep that one.
I might. I mean,
I love that bracket.
I don't see Baylor repeating.
I'm scared of that bracket, so keep it.
I don't see Duke sending Coach K off into retirement with another national title or even a trip to the Final Four.
I don't know if Duke makes it out of the second round.
Wow.
I don't.
A lot of people are high on Arizona.
Yeah, they are.
Sorry, Sean Elliott.
You're not?
I'm not. I have them losing to Tennessee. That UT, I think, has a good long run in them. My Texas Longhorns, I have losing in the first round to Virginia Tech.
First round loss.
First round. Done, baby.
I have them losing in that round, too.
Do you really?
Honest, I do, yeah. In
All
this
right.
bracket that I filled out, I have Texas losing. My dark horse, can I give you the team that I love? St. Mary's.
Really?
They're a number 5 seed.
The Rattlers, huh?
I love them. I've got them going all the way to the Elite 8.
Wow.
And losing to Baylor.
Okay.
So that's where I have St. Mary's going. And that's subject to change.
I had a friend of mine call me earlier today. His son works for a company. They do this big pool.
Yeah.
And who makes it to the Sweet 16 from an 11 seed or lower or higher? And I'm looking at that's tough, because there's some 10 seeds that I think could make a run. But when you go at 11 seed and go, okay, this is the team that I think has a couple wins in them, when there's a big pot of money. But, I mean, you figure, okay, 11, 12, 13.
I would like to get into that because I've got one. That
Oh,
I
yeah?
think is
Who do you have?
South Dakota State.
South Dakota State.
They're 13 seed.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And what do you know about the Jackrabbits?
Well, just from what I've been reading up on those guys, and they look
not
great.
a damn thing.
But you when you look at this stuff, and you're right, I've never followed South Dakota State. I haven't. However, you start researching these because I like to do that, especially with the higher seeds, because I want to pick some upsets. There's always going to be some upsets, and who's it going to be? Well, St. Mary's, I have followed a little bit, so I like them, but they're a 5 seed, so that's not really a big upset. But you start looking at South Dakota State, and these guys they can play ball. I mean, and what I like about some of these smaller schools, Jason, is that they have upperclassmen playing. And they're playing against a bunch of freshmen. And sometimes that can be a big advantage for the smaller school and the higher seed.
I can't even find South Dakota State on my bracket, so apparently I don't even have them out of the first round.
Well, that's your problem.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I'll take your money. That's for damn sure.
They are playing Providence in the first round.
Providence is good, man. Providence is what, a 4?
4 seed, yeah.
Providence is good.
Okay, well, you stick with that.
Oh, I am. I am. I think it's going to be good. Now look at who's going to be in San Antonio next weekend.
Oh, wow.
I've got Arizona, Illinois, Tennessee, and Villanova.
Okay, now which region are we in?
We're in the South region,
South
Joe,
region. Okay.
Which is stupid that Texas Tech and Baylor aren't in the South region.
So let's see. Sweet 16 round?
TCU could come here.
No, they can't. They don't have anything.
No, because I think they'll beat Seton Hall, but then they'll lose to Arizona.
Oh, see, I've got Arizona playing Seton Hall. I've got Seton Hall beating TCU. Okay, so I've got that.
Houston and UAB.
I've got Houston and Chattanooga.
See, I've got UAB knocking off Houston.
No, that's not going to happen.
See, but you think Chattanooga is going to beat Illinois?
Yes, for the same reason I like South Dakota State. And then I've got Michigan, Tennessee.
Just give me your money now.
And Loyola, Chicago, and Villanova.
Just give me your money now.
Did you hear me?
I stopped listening a long time ago because I'm counting all the Reineagle cash I'm about to get.
I'm telling you, man. You've got to take some chances, Jason. You can't just pick all high seeds.
Dude, I didn't. UAB is a 12 to knock off Houston.
Houston's going to win that game.
Nah.
No, they'll win that game.
UAB.
Loyola Chicago is the so the nun will be back, right?
Yeah.
What you remember her name? They were here before when we had the
I got a photo with her.
When we had the sister when we had the Final Four here. Yeah. She was here.
Yeah, I don't remember her name.
Yeah,
she'll get famous again for another couple weeks if they go on a run.
She will. But I've got Villanova beating them in that first game, and then they'll take on Tennessee.
I think Villanova won it all here. Tennessee, Illinois, Arizona. I think it's going to be a good South region. And plan now whether you're going to the games at the AT&T Center or not. Next Thursday and Friday, the 24th and 25th, and then even on Saturday, the 26th, San Antonio Sports Star, we're taking over Pinkerton's Barbecue. We're going to be there Thursday, Friday, the 24th and 25th, doing the Blitz live. On Friday, Jimenez is going to host halftime there, so you can literally go have lunch with Mike.
Yeah.
And then even the Saturday morning hangover guys are going out there Saturday morning to Pinkerton's Barbecue for Yingling's Hoop City.
Nice.
And then they take that park down there at Pinkerton's, put up these incredible screens, and it's a great time. Great place to go watch games.
Yeah.
A lot of people in town for that. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's exciting, the places we're going this in the next 3 weeks.
That's it.
This is great. Going to hang out with
Sister
Jean. Thank you, Frank.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Yep. I'd be curious. I mean, who has a big upset or a high seed going right now? I mean, I'm thinking everybody's filled out at least one bracket, and I know it'll change, but is there that one seed that's higher than, say, 10 that you have going far?
What do you guys think? 656 ESPN, 656-3776 on the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines.
So, did the Aggies get screwed? Yes, is your answer.
I want to say yes, and I feel like they got screwed. But when you watch the Joe Lunardis of the world and all the bracket experts that had them as a bubble team, and the first four out and all that kind of stuff, that I thought getting to the SEC title game would be enough to get them in.
Beating Auburn should have been enough to get them in.
But you had other teams that were bubble teams like Indiana that were also making big runs and upsetting teams in the tournament. So it kind of kept those bubble teams still on the bubble. And then you look at that 8-game losing streak. Like on the surface, yes. And I look at, there are teams that are in the tournament from the SEC with worse records than what A&M had.
Yeah.
But I don't, the quality of wins and the this and the that and all that kind of stuff. On the surface, yeah, it looks like A&M got screwed.
They did.
But when all the guys that spend all the time studying all this and know what all the rules are that the selection committee is looking at, if they're not upset by it or surprised by it, should we be surprised?
I think it was, here's that Rick Barnes and your boy Calipari both came out and said that A&M got screwed.
Oh, it's because they need the that's the solidarity within the tournament coffers.
Well, maybe so. I don't know.
Look,
but
when I look at coaches, I have a hard time when I hear coaches say, well, that team got screwed, that team got screwed. Because I don't know of a coach that's going to say, no, man, they didn't deserve to be in. When you think about bubble teams, I think coaches understand, man, that team fought hard. I just have a hard time believing a coach in that situation with a microphone that would say anything negative, like, no, they didn't get screwed. They didn't belong.
I don't think they would say anything negative, but if you thought that they didn't belong or the committee did the right thing, you would just say, well, I don't know enough about it. I'm not sure who the other teams were. You can have a political answer there and save your behind. But I just think that both of those guys come out right away and say they got screwed. Look, the SEC arguably is, certainly up near the top of one of the best basketball conferences in the nation. Because, in my Final Four, I've got Auburn and Tennessee. And, both of those schools, and the way Texas A&M made a run in the tournament, they deserve to be in.
I think it's not a reward for what you have done lately. And that is
that's a shame.
But that's what the committee has said. It's a reward for your entire body of work for the entire season. And so when you look at non-conference, you look at an 8-game losing streak in the middle of the conference. They were a bubble team that I thought did enough in the tournament, but the stuff that they grade them on apparently wasn't enough. And when I look at the Lenardis of the world saying, yeah, I don't know. A championship game is being played, and Lenardi's like, I don't know if this is enough based on whatever. So when they didn't make it, I was surprised, and I'm mad. I think they got screwed. I think this is one of the bigger snubs. But when those experts that follow it all had them as a bubble team and first 4 out, and then they don't make it, that's what those guys get paid to do, whether you agree with it or not.
Well, and it's always a good debate. I think they should have gotten in. I just think with the quality of wins they had in the tournament and going into the tournament, they had won 5 in a row. So they had an 8-game winning streak before they lost to Tennessee. And look, teams like that know the deal. You've got to win 4 games in a row on 4 consecutive nights. And that's a difficult proposition for anybody. And it looked like the Aggies just kind of ran out of gas against the Volunteers.
Yeah, 14-0. Hard when the committee is looking at it and making their decisions as you're playing and down 14-0, because that's the last thing they were seeing before they started talking about stuff. You just, I don't know. I'm pissed that the Aggies aren't in.
They should be.
And they should be in.
Well, what they need to do then is go win the NIT and laugh at everybody after that. That's all you can do.
Seriously,
that's all you can do.
Did you really just say that?
That's all you can do.
Just go win the knit.
If you're gonna be in something, you got to go win it. Right?
There you go, man. The top seed in the tournament, nobody gives a damn about.
I know it.
I think it starts tomorrow, right?
It does. The Aggies play Alcorn State.
Are we even carrying that game?
I don't know. We should be.
We should be, but it hasn't even made it onto our calendar yet.
It's an 8:00 tip though, Central Time, so it doesn't help us at all.
Doesn't start at 6.
It does. I was hoping for a 4:00
We can't weasel
tip,
into an early release day on a Tuesday as we gear up for a week that's going to require heavy drinking. And you think about this week, Wednesday, we're going to be out at the Roo Pub at 281 in Redland Road doing the Blitz live from 4 to 7 as they get ready for their legendary St. Patrick's Day party. In the Roo Pub, their St. Patty's Day parties are legendary. They'll have the outdoor stage with live bands inside both the Roo Pub and next door at the Angry Elephant. They'll have, obviously, all the games on the TVs, DJs in there. And, of course, the green beer is going to be flowing. And go hungry because the food there at the Roo Pub is fantastic, all made from scratch. And that kitchen is open late till 2 a.m. every day with the full menu available. You're trying to figure out your St. Patrick's Day plans, no better place to go than the Roo Pub. They're going to get things going at 11 a.m., and they will go all day and then all night. For St. Patrick's Day, Roo Pub, no better place to party this Thursday than the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant there at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
This is the greatest stage for all of sports. March Madness is upon us. The big dance. We've got you covered. That's why we keep you up to date with the latest from the tournament. Are you ready for the madness? San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
Injuries do happen. So if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need to know about Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries, and he has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available, and if you do need surgery, you'll get referred to the specialist that can get you out of pain, because there's no reason for you to be in pain. If you're hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Schedule an appointment by calling 210-804-5490, 804-5490, or go to the website tsaog.com. That's tsaog.com.
You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, but when we just come out and say it, it feels like it falls a bit flat. So we're going to tap into human emotion, first with some music. Then in a serious tone, I'll say, save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. And even though it was about saving money with Progressive, we'll fade out the music so you know it was poignant. Wow, powerful stuff. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hello, Connecticut. May I help you?
This is Bill Tyson. Is this my Connecticut Pro?
Yes, Mr. Tyson. What can I do for you?
Calling from Yellowstone National Park.
Mm-hmm.
Old Faithful just erupted and reminded me I didn't set the vacation bypass in my Connecticut water conditioner. Would you run over to my house and set it? I've hidden the key under my doormat.
Well,
I forgot to set the bypass last year. I had that other brand, and the software used up 4,000 pounds of salt in a week.
Mr. Tyson, relax. With your new Connecticut, there is no vacation cycle or any worries about salt.
Oh.
If you don't use any water, your Connecticut won't either. We not only believe in saving salt, but also in saving water.
Would you go over and unplug it then? I'm trying to conserve electricity.
You forget that your Connecticut doesn't use electricity either. There's nothing to plug in. And don't forget that your Connecticut is also completely automatic.
I mean, I can relax and enjoy my whole vacation?
That's right.
This is great. I've got Old Faithful here at Yellowstone and an Old Faithful in my Connecticut water conditioner at home.
The last water softener you'll ever own. ConnecticutSA.com.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Rob Thompson and Rudy J. Don't rush. It's R&R in the morning. Tomorrow morning at 7, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
Hey guys, it's Rudy J. Your home for sports talk is right here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Deshaun Watson apparently is down to 2 teams that he will entertain offers from and waive that no-trade clause. We'll talk about that coming up in about 10 minutes after 5 o'clock. We'll get into that and the other big NFL news of today. But Spurs, they play tonight. But
yep,
Pop set the record on Friday night. None of us thought that on Friday that they would get the record.
No.
Not against Utah.
Mm-mm.
The reaction was incredible. The game, I mean, we're sitting over there at Slackers. We were still at Slackers when that game was ending, or most of us was. Joe actually had to leave.
I didn't have to leave.
Well, Joe left.
I did leave.
About what, 9:30? What's
Yeah, it's
Rudy's
about
nickname for you now?
9 o'clock, Joe.
9 o'clock out?
Something like that.
Yeah, no matter where we are, Joe stays late. That's 9 o'clock.
Then Rudy knows better than that.
I think the history says about 9 o'clock you got to leave.
I don't know.
I mean, now the one
maybe
time
so.
we were at RuPub once you came back, but that's because you had to go to work. Now, I do know Saturday night we were out and we closed the place down at 2 a.m. So
We did.
I know Joe can stay out past 9 o'clock.
I can. And, I've got plenty of chances coming up, too. So,
yes.
There you go.
Yes, indeed. But I didn't expect it against Utah. First time all season that they came back with a fourth quarter deficit and won a game. And the way they did it, Pop's reaction, the players' reaction, the video that they put out with 199 players was incredible.
That was incredible.
It was a great weekend to celebrate Greg Popovich, who, with his words, basically, it's ours, not mine. And I thought it was, I knew he would put it into some sort of great perspective, and he did.
He did, and I thought that was great. I wouldn't say I'm surprised, but he did, and he was emotional about it, and he should be. I mean, what a great honor that was. But he's right, and I said this too. I tweeted this out. I said, what a great moment for Pop, the Spurs, and the city of San Antonio. I mean, because we all can celebrate this, and Greg Popovich has been San Antonio's favorite coach now for what, almost 30 years?
It's amazing to think, because you and I were both covering this team back when, Bob Hill got fired.
Yeah.
And, I remember doing radio back. He had 2 titles. They'd lose 3 in a row. Calls would come in, fire Pop.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was comical, and I remember when, Lucas was the coach, and then we brought in Bob Hill, and I thought Bob Hill was going to be the guy that would be here forever, not Pop.
Yeah.
But to see through the entire coaching career where he's at now, but that video with some of the players that I hadn't thought about in 15 years, 20 years, it's pretty wild.
It's great.
Well done by their video department.
Oh, they do. Well, Kikarillo and those guys over there do a fabulous job with production. So well done.
Yeah, absolutely well done. They got a game tonight against Minnesota.
Yep. It's not your grandpa's Minnesota. Pretty good team.
It ain't your grandpa's Spurs either.
No, it's not.
So this would be an interesting game. But again,
don't go there.
Saturday night, they rest a bunch of dudes. They lose to Indiana.
Don't go there,
Tonight,
Michael Jimenez.
I'm not going there. I'm just saying the facts are, tonight's going to be an interesting one. No McDermott tonight. He sprained his ankle the other night.
Okay. Everybody else is playing.
Everybody else that matters.
Everybody else that matters. Okay. Well, they're only 2 games out of the play-in tournament.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Lakers are in a free fall. Lakers may end up behind the Spurs before it's all said and done. Whether the Spurs make the play-in tournament or not, Phoenix just absolutely wiped the floor with them last night.
They scored 48. The Suns did in the first quarter.
I think it was 140 to 111.
I don't think it was, and it wasn't even that close.
No.
And the lack of effort from LeBron James.
Well, he had scored 50, the night before or 2 nights before?
The passes that we're getting, just tipped, and he's not even getting back on defense. LeBron played that game last night. Now, granted, they're down 50. He's human. But he played it like he doesn't give a damn.
Right. And maybe he doesn't. He sees the writing on the wall. I saw a Twitter video out and said, respect, don't call Russell Westbrook Russell Westbrick. And the ball didn't even hit the rim.
No.
With the shot that he put up. The guy's just not playing
West
well.
Air.
West Air.
West Air.
You think he'd get upset by West Air?
Well, you got to hit the rim to be brick.
Maybe so.
Right? Isn't that what it boils
well,
down to?
He broke the glass.
Lots of NFL news. And we'll get into all of it as we continue here on the Blitz. It is one of those weeks. St. Patrick's Day, the tournament. You all have your plans, and none of you plan on getting arrested. But if you do, you want to get out of jail fast, because people get arrested every day for all kinds of reasons. Best way to get out of jail fast is to call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text the word bail to 474747, or you can even start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail. A lot of reasons for that. And you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds, because nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available, offer a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. Whether you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, in the Valley, license number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or online at mybestbailbonds.com.
Two grown men talking about urban cowboy.
Deborah Winger doing her sexy moves on the mechanical bull. Okay, you know what?
She ain't but mad with that. Well, she put a little extra on it. She put a little hot sauce on that thing.
Pam may have been hotter, but the Sissy was
sexier. Put a little hot sauce on that thing, dog. And I was like, okay, Sissy.
I see you. I see you.
There'll be a meeting about this. Halftime with Michael Jimenez. Weekdays at noon. San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
You know, we've been talking about the college basketball tournament that is coming up. It is exciting, but you can make it more exciting. You know, it always is when you have a little something on the game. Well, I got the place that you can go. It is BUSR.com. In fact, these folks have everything. They've got a casino, a race book, and, of course, a sports book. But you can play blackjack there, roulette. In fact, they've got over 200 casino games. Boy, but you want to bet on sports because the big tournament is coming up. So you need to go get registered now and make your deposit. And here's what's going to happen when you do. No matter what you deposit, they're going to match it. A 100% deposit bonus that is exclusively for Sports Star listeners. So all you do is go to BUSR.com/SportsStar. Again, that's BUSR.com/SportsStar, your college basketball betting headquarters. That's BUSR.
San Antonio's home for all things sports and games. Slackers Medical Center location now brings you all the UFC and big game coverage all the time. Never a cover charge with table reservations available. Slackers Medical Center at 7959 Fredericksburg Road. Catch all your favorite sports and UFC programming all the time on 6 10-foot projection screens and over 20 HD TVs. We are San Antonio's home for all things sports and games. Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar. Find us on Instagram and Facebook at Slackers Bar SA.
Join San Antonio's Sports Star crew this Thursday and Friday at our tournament takeover live from Twin Peaks. It's our annual event. It's the best time of the year. It's tourney time, and we're heading to Twin Peaks with halftime in the Blitz 2 days in a row. We're getting started with halftime at noon and keeping you filled with upsets and bracket busters through the Blitz at 7 o'clock. The madness begins at Twin Peaks this Thursday and Friday from noon to 7. Thursday will be at Twin Peaks Westover Hills at 410 and 151. And Friday, we're at Twin Peaks Park North. See you at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and those scenic views.
I need 4 more of the biscuit carnitas, 2 burnt end platters, 3.
The kitchen at Kai's Barbecue is firing on all cylinders.
Greg, help me bring the certificate counter.
He needs food runners who can hit the ground quickly.
86 on the chicken and we're short staffed. Let's pick it up.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Live, local, loud. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 103.3 FM. Joe Reinagel, Jason Minix, The Blitz.
Where will Deshaun Watson end up? It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. We have a pretty good indication it's going to be one of two places. It's going to be Carolina or it's going to be New Orleans. He is meeting with both teams tonight in Houston. So during the day, he's doing his prep work with his legal team because he is expected to speak and answer questions at his civil lawsuit depositions. So apparently the New Orleans types and the Carolina types got on their private jets and went to Houston. I saw earlier in the day they might do it by Zoom. And they want to know from Deshaun as much as he wants to interview them, if you will.
I don't know. I think Carolina would give him the keys to the city if he would come there. They've been the most aggressive, and they may throw in a couple of massage therapists as well because they want him in Carolina.
Some dude named Biff, I'm
badly,
sure.
Badly. They want him there badly. The general, John McClain, says that he's rejected everybody.
He's rejected
except
Seattle.
Those two. Well, but Diana Rossini just sent out a tweet from ESPN saying that Seattle has no plans to meet with Watson at this time.
Well, it's because he's rejected him.
Well, maybe so, but her tweet did not indicate that. So, but I trust McClain 100%.
His no trade clause basically has made this a 2-team race.
Yeah.
Schefter tweets out that Houston has declined Indianapolis's attempt to speak with Deshaun.
No secret, or no surprise there.
Well, but then again, can the Colts put together a package that would compete with what Carolina can offer, that can compete with what New Orleans can offer?
Probably not, first of all, because then it would have to be extremely better to trade him within that division.
I just look at it and think, if you're Nick Caserio and the Colts were able to put together the best package for the Houston Texans franchise, even if you're going to see this dude twice a year for 10 years, you got to do what's in the best interest of Houston. You can't say, well, I'm not going to trade with you.
Well, that's exactly what they did. They didn't want to hear it because, first of all, they don't have the resources.
And I think that's what makes it. If you're a Texan fan, you're right. Half a piece onto you, Colts. You can't have our quarterback. You didn't have enough money anyway.
Yeah.
But we're not trading within our division.
It'll be interesting. Would Carolina go as far as to throw in a Christian McCaffrey?
Well, yes.
I think so too.
Because he's banged up.
He's
been
always
banged
hurt.
up.
Always hurt.
What I find interesting is how much Deshaun is controlling this.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That with the no bill, no criminal charges coming from the prosecutor, which doesn't mean he's innocent. It just meant there wasn't enough there to bring criminal charges, and the DA didn't overly push for it, because reading about it over the weekend, DAs, to get criminal charges brought, but then you've got to be able to go win the case.
You got to be able to prove it.
The DA didn't feel like they could win in a criminal setting, in a criminal court, where the burden of proof is very different than in these civil lawsuits.
True.
I'm surprised that his legal team is letting him talk anywhere in anything, although Deshaun has maintained, when the truth comes out, I'm innocent of all this. Because he could have made this all go away a long time ago with the check. It feels that way.
Probably he could have, but he wanted to try and clear his name, and I guess in 90% of it at least he has, because he can always go back and point. Well, you know what? There's no criminal charges. Yeah, they won a civil suit. Okay, big deal. I paid them X number of dollars, but that doesn't mean anything, because you can convict a ham sandwich in a civil trial. At least that's what I've always heard.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of what it goes down to. I mean, I just look at all of what he's going through. I am surprised when it comes down to it. It's the Saints and it's Carolina.
Boy, of those two, Jason, why New Orleans?
Well, that's it. Why wouldn't you want to at least talk with Seattle?
I don't know.
I mean, I understand Tampa. I thought Pittsburgh would be in the mix. They go out and they sign Mitch Trubisky. I can't believe that they would choose Mitch Trubisky over Deshaun Watson. But so were the talks to the point that they knew they weren't going to have a chance at Deshaun, so let's turn our attention elsewhere and create a quarterback competition with Mitch and Mason and see who wins this court, because Trubisky only gets a 2-year deal. So by all accounts, there's not a lot of confidence on the side of Mike Tomlin and the Steelers. He's a bridge quarterback until they can get to the next one, whether it's through free agency, through trade, or a better quarterback class when it comes to the draft, because a 2-year deal for Trubisky, and it's a go prove it kind of contract, but he's going to have to compete with Mason Rudolph for that starting job. But I would have thought that Pittsburgh would have been a good landing place for Deshaun Watson from a team element. You look at the team that they have, why wouldn't you? And then, of course, Brian Flores ends up on the staff with Mike Tomlin there in Pittsburgh. So, I've been saying Pittsburgh a long time, but as soon as Flores ended up there, a lot of other people started talking about Deshaun to Pittsburgh. He just looks like he'd be a good fit in that system.
Well, but you've got to have the resources. You've got to have, because Houston is not going to give this guy away.
Sure.
They're not. They're going to demand a big haul in return. Russell Wilson got a huge return, or Seattle got a huge return for Russell Wilson, which is why that surprises me that Deshaun's not looking at Seattle, because they have the resources to make a deal for Deshaun Watson. So you're going to weed out a lot of teams right off the bat because they just simply don't have the resources to make a deal like that happen. New Orleans, I can't imagine that they have the resources because they are almost $50 million under the cap, first and foremost. And maybe this is a way to get out of it, but then what kind of a team do you have left after that? And so I can't even imagine that Deshaun would want to play in New Orleans with the state that they're in at the moment.
And the other part, because the Texans and the no trade and all that kind of stuff can say New Orleans make a trade, and then is it a 3-team kind of deal? Although it certainly feels like with the no trade, Deshaun is controlling his destiny. But once he ends up in New Orleans, what backroom deals are going on? New Orleans to me doesn't make any sense.
None. It makes no sense.
Carolina makes a ton of sense.
Sure,
but they're not a win now football program.
Well, I think they're not far from it if you add a Deshaun Watson. And I think Matt Rule would do a great job with a Deshaun Watson. Certainly, Watson is a top-tier quarterback. He's shown that. And he is going to make a huge difference, but you've got to have some pieces around him when you get there. I mean, he can't do it all by himself. And that's why New Orleans, just other than Alvin Kamara, I'm not sure what else they have. Their defense isn't bad, but Sean Payton knew something. He got the heck out of there. And so I just don't know what New Orleans would have left after making a deal with Houston to bring Deshaun Watson there. And so it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. There are some other teams involved, although McClain again says he's rejected everybody. I just have to believe there's something else there.
Well, and then again, I look at, with Carolina, or, and you're in the NFC South, Tom Brady, if you missed it over the weekend, he announced he is unretiring after 40 days with the wife and kids. He's decided to go back to work, but it's all in the NFC South. The two teams that he wants are in the NFC South. And you look at whether it's draft picks, but if you're Carolina or if you're Houston, do you take Sam Darnold in the trade? Do you want Sam Darnold if you're the Houston Texans? Would he be an upgrade over Davis Mills?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Davis Mills, I think, play in a very rough situation that the Texans were in last year. Davis Mills, I think, showed everybody a lot. And I think this guy's got a lot of potential. I don't know. Is Winston a free agent, or is he under obligation to the Saints?
He's a free agent.
He's a free agent, so he's not in the picture. So obviously New Orleans needs a quarterback, whether you bring back Jameis Winston or you make a trade. I just don't know what they have. And it's hard for me to believe that these are the only two teams that are still left involved in this thing.
Well, they're the only two teams that, at least publicly, we know that Deshaun Watson is willing to waive his no trade for. Now, if I'm Nick Caserio, I'm not only picks, I would take Sam Darnold just to give some competition to Davis Mills and have that veteran quarterback in the room.
Sure.
But, as opposed to Christian McCaffrey, what about Chuba Hubbard? Remember his college days, and he's played well because McCaffrey is hurt so much. I love a Christian McCaffrey, but you talk about a guy that's always hurt. Can you rely on him?
Boy, he is special when he's healthy. He is a special athlete. He can run the football. He can catch the football. He's as good as anybody. But that's been the knock on this guy. He just cannot stay healthy, and that's very unfortunate. But you got to take chances on guys in the NFL sometimes. And a name like that, the Cowboys are doing that. And
I was going to say, boy, I'm listening to you. But we're going to just transition this right into Michael Gallup.
Well, you've got the Cowboys. That's what I'm saying.
You're scared to death of this Michael Gallup contract because he's hurt. He's been hurt 1 year.
As I would be scared of bringing in a Christian McCaffrey if I'm the Houston Texans. I would be scared of that. I would be. And I'm scared for Gallup and the Cowboys because with what they've got now, and I'm sure there's some moves in the future, but you lose Gallup, you got nothing.
You got CeeDee Lamb.
Okay. So you got 3 guys on Lamb every play, and then 1 guy can cover Noah Brown.
Well, and then you're going to have somebody covering the tight end. I don't know. I just look at the Dallas Cowboys. It seems like it's been 5-6 years since they made a splash early on in free agency, right? And in fact, I saw Shereen Williams tweet earlier. Let me find it. It was about Brandon Carr.
Okay. I remember that.
They haven't made it was Shereen Williams from Pro Football Talk tweeted out, Cowboys haven't made a first-day splash since 2012 when they signed Brandon Carr to a 5-year, $50 million deal. That was 10 years ago. This isn't a new philosophy. And I remember because they flew out Brandon Carr, they had a dinner table set up at the Star on the football field, on the Star at the 50-yard line, gave them all that money.
So God bless Shereen Williams, and I get that, and I get, and maybe it was your tone and not hers, but it sounds like she's taking up for the Cowboys.
No, I think she's just dealing in reality, which is what I've been. They don't have the money right now to go sign one of these guys.
They've got $20 million.
Have you seen the contracts that are being signed?
Well, I'm just saying,
they can't afford to spend all 20 on one guy. That's it. They don't for the guys.
Then I guess Bobby Wagner's out.
Bobby Wagner hadn't signed anywhere.
Well, maybe he's out then. So if you don't have enough money to sign Bobby Wagner and Randy Gregory and D. Law, keep him there. I mean, so what are you going to do?
Well, when you look at like the money that the Chargers have spent today, that Jacksonville has spent today,
right.
Cincinnati went and pulled a guard from Tampa Bay and for pretty high dollar. When you look at the big contracts, one, Cedric Wilson with his deal with Miami. The Cowboys aren't spending that kind of money today, but the fact that Bobby Wagner hasn't been signed, let's see Tuesday, let's see Wednesday, when maybe Bobby's working the phones for himself, hoping that, well, I was scheduled to make this in Seattle. They let me go and nobody else is offering that money. Then all of a sudden you realize, well, your value isn't where you think it is.
That's a good point. But just going back to Shereen's tweet, that's not a new philosophy. Maybe they need to get a new philosophy because the last time I checked,
here we go.
It was 1996.
There
wasn't
we go.
It?
Yes.
So maybe a new philosophy is in order. Maybe you should try something else, do something different, and see if that works.
The frustrating part as a Cowboy fan is 2 years ago, we saw Tampa Bay go all in.
Yep.
They won a Super Bowl. Last year, we saw the Rams go all in, and they won a Super Bowl. The Cowboys aren't all in. They'll tell you they're all in to win, but they're not going to Neiman Marcus. They're at the 99-cent store trying to buy their players. Let a guy like Cedric Wilson walk. And granted, I look at the contract Cedric Wilson just signed with Miami. I'm glad the Cowboys didn't do that deal. I like the Michael Gallup deal because if you're Michael Gallup, aren't you calling your agent today going, do you see the Christian Kirk numbers? What the hell, man?
Yeah, absolutely.
What the hell? You're fired.
Exactly.
If I'm Michael Gallup, I am firing my agent today based on the Christian Kirk contract.
But then again, Jason, he's coming off an ACL injury.
Yeah.
Surgery, major surgery.
Yeah.
So maybe he can't command Christian Kirk money at this point in time.
Let's count the guys in the NFL that have ridiculous deals that have had ACL surgery. It's not 1948 where they haven't figured it out. I mean, look at the pictures.
It's still major surgery.
All right, but different sport, same thing. Justin Verlander. All right, Tommy John surgery. You're going to have a whole new arm. Let's see what happens. Oh, you're signing for how much?
When are the docs back on the show?
Tuesday.
Okay.
Tuesday.
Well, that's a great question.
They'll be fine. and yeah, you can ask them. I'm not worried about the ACL surgery and the fact that he should play most of next season. He might miss a little time early, which is understandable. This past year, the calf injury against Tampa Bay and then the ACL injury, the only time in his career he's been hurt. So he's not like he's one of those injury-prone dudes.
And I'm not suggesting that he is. I'm saying that's a major deal, and that concerns me.
And with what the Cowboys signed him for, just based on Christian Kirk. Think about Christian Kirk's
Well,
contract.
it sounds like they could have had Cedric Wilson for about half of what they signed Gallup for. Why not keep him? The Dolphins are convinced that he's okay, so why not a Cedric Wilson instead of a Michael Gallup?
I think you look at, okay, we had Amari Cooper at $20 million. We shipped him off to Cleveland, and they're eating 100% of his contract. So there's no dead money left with Amari Cooper. There's no remaining stink in the building from Amari Cooper's deal.
Sure.
Right? He's gone.
Right.
So now we've got a CeeDee Lamb on a rookie deal, and we've got Michael Gallup. We've got those two receivers. Production-wise, we don't expect to have that much of a drop-off with those two guys, making less than what we were going to pay one. And then you have Noah Brown, and you're going to be able to find some other third wide receivers. They're not going to pay Cedric Wilson that kind of money to be wide receiver 3.
$28 million. The Dolphins just did. What do they know?
They have the money to spend. Maybe he's going there to be a number 2.
Perhaps.
I mean, it could be an elevation. They're not paying him that money to be a 3.
So that's my whole point. So instead of Gallup, you move Wilson in there. Did he not prove enough to you? He might have been, especially down the stretch.
I am
one of the better receivers
of Cedric Wilson, but I remember saying this during the season last year. Cedric Wilson was great in spots, but when guys were out and he was relied on for 30, 40 snaps a game, he wasn't near as good as when he was in there at 10 to 15 snaps a game.
So this is the same argument that we hear about Tony Pollard. He's not good enough to run every down. He's not good enough to do that. That's why we have to keep Zeke. He's not as good a blocker as Zeke. So we got to keep Zeke because Tony Pollard can't get it done every down.
Tony Pollard's not an every down back.
How do we know? Until you make him an every down back, how do you know he's not?
He wasn't an every down back in college. He split time. I want to see Tony Pollard more in the slot wide receiver. I want to see him getting snaps. It doesn't have to be a tailback, though.
I want to know. You don't know if a guy can be an every down back or not until he's an every down back.
True.
Okay.
Drew, look, the way they handle Zeke, I'm not a fan of, nor am I a fan of his contract, which looks worse and worse every day, right? It does.
Maybe the worst contract the Cowboys have ever signed.
They've got a lot of bad ones. There's competition there.
This one was horrible.
I mean, and again, the aftermath of it, and it's untouchable at this point. But like last year, we're all questioning why Zeke is in there. Then the year's over and we find out, okay, he's got this knee injury. Then why the hell are you playing him?
Then why again is he in there?
Why are you playing him? But is that a lack of confidence in Tony Pollard, or is it this blind love that they have with Zeke that they've got to play him because of what they're paying him?
This is the last year that they have to pay him. So Zeke either is gone after this year or he's got to do some serious restructuring of his contract because I think this is the final one. I don't know what he's costing against the cap. It's almost $20 million this year alone.
It is nuts.
It's crazy what he is costing the Cowboys right now.
And the Cowboy, but he's a hell of a blocker.
He's a great blocker.
He's a hell of a blocker.
Well, they ought to put him on the offensive line. They could use his help there.
He's not big enough to be an offensive lineman. But
how do you know?
Here we go. Here we go. It is interesting when you look at it. But as we sit here today, the Cowboys are worse than when the season ended. And if you're Jerry Jones, that's a problem.
You got to do something. I mean, they've got a lot of holes to fill. And if they're hoping to do it in the draft, maybe that's their plan. I don't know. What do they pick? 24th in the first round, I think it is.
Yeah.
So, there's some offensive linemen that are projected to fall that far. There may be a wide receiver there and it's a great tight end draft.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of tight end talent.
There are
in the draft.
The Cowboys, as we sit right now, and every mock draft just about has them taking an edge rusher. But I look at their biggest needs. Now, granted, we don't have clarity yet on Randy Gregory, who the Cowboys are apparently close on a deal with Randy Gregory, but Denver is also in the mix, and we don't know what they're officially going to do with DeMarcus Lawrence. But as we sit right now today, their draft needs offensive line, tight end, wide receiver.
Yeah.
Are fans going to be okay if the Cowboys go offense in the first 3 rounds? knowing that you still have defensive help?
No, I think that would be fine, but I think it's got to start with that offensive line. If there is a quality offensive lineman at 24, I think the Cowboys have got to do that. But I don't care if there's another CD Lamb sitting there.
But it's a shiny toy.
That's exactly what it is. So, I mean, offensive, you can have the best wide receiver in the world, and we saw that with the Cowboys in the second half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
They've got talent out there, but they couldn't get him the football because Dak had no time, unless they were playing Philadelphia or Washington. Then he had plenty of time.
Yeah, exactly. They got to fix that offensive line. They need to address that offensive line, whether it's through trade. If La'el Collins walks, they're not as good today as they were when the season ended.
Connor Williams is gone.
Thank God.
Well, sure.
They can take all the Connors
but
and leave.
He's still
I never want to
spot.
see another Connor on the Cowboys again.
He's still a spot on that
Something with
offensive
the
line.
name. Get rid of all the Connors.
Every one of them.
Every one of them. Quit naming your kid Connor. If your name is Connor, you can't play for the Cowboys.
Ooh.
Might not even be allowed to be a fan. Damn Connors. It's crazy. It is crazy. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM. Hope you had a great breakfast this morning. Hopefully it was as good as mine, and it was if you had Kielbasa Smoked Meats Maple Breakfast Links as a part of your breakfast. They are available at select H-E-B stores. If you haven't tried these Maple Breakfast Links, man, you are missing out. They're a little sweet, little savory, totally delicious. Perfect as a part of a nice weekend breakfast spread, but they come fully cooked. So busy morning, all you got to do is heat them up and you're good to go. I put them in the microwave for about 45 seconds. I should put them in a pan with some eggs. I don't. If you're on one of those keto diets, these are perfect for you. You can find Kielbasa Maple Breakfast Links at select H-E-B stores.
All right. Kevin Durant is ripping the mayor of New York City. We'll tell you why right after this Sports Center update. Big news of the day. Houston Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson going to be meeting with the Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints. We hear it is tonight or tomorrow or both. Several other teams apparently have shown interest, but, well, it looks like it's down to Carolina and New Orleans. He is all of this interest in Watson right now is because he was not indicted on the criminal charges stemming from those 22 civil lawsuits for sexual misconduct. San Antonio Spurs 1-1 over the weekend. Pop got his record, though, with that 104-102 win over Utah on Friday, but the Spurs then dropped a 119-108 decision to Indiana on Saturday. The Spurs return to action tonight. They are at home against Minnesota. Tip time is at 7:30. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Joe Reinagle.
Jason Minix here for my friends over at Garageanization. If you need to organize your garage, Garageanization is your organization solution, and they certainly were for me. They will be for you. I had a couple of nice industrial shelves installed by Garageanization. They're great because obviously it's a shelf. You've got your long-term storage, but these adjustable bars underneath allow you to use that space underneath the shelf. The versatility is incredible. Call Garageanization, 210-664-4494. Talk to them about shelves like what I have, overhead racks, closed storage, slat walls. You can make your garage functional for the entire family. Imagine both cars in the garage, the kids' bikes, your golf clubs, your lawnmower, everything in the garage in a very organized way. Since 2008, the veteran-owned Garageanization has been helping San Antonians love their garage. Learn more at garageorganizationsanantonio.com. They'll come out, give you a customized plan for your garage. Again, the website, garageorganizationsanantonio.com.
Hi, it's Rudy J. I'm here with my lawyer, Jason Thompson, owner of the Thompson Law Firm. Jason, as I'm riding around the city, I notice your nice billboards. They look good, but
I have a couple out there trying to keep up with the competition, I
they
guess.
look good. Now, I get in a car accident. Am I going to be talking to you? I don't want to talk to some guy that works for you. I want to talk to the guy that's on the billboard.
No, I know. And you know that you talk to me, but
Yes.
and you have, you and I have been friends for a long time, and I've represented you for a long time. But that relationship that you and I have is the relationship I have with a lot of my clients. And I think you're recognizing something that I don't know if everybody knows, that the face on the billboard for that firm might not be the lawyer that you actually get to talk to. Right. That's not true with me, as you know.
Right.
If you call 900-0400, my office number, and you have a question about your case, you're going to talk to me. I'm the lawyer on the billboard, but I'm the lawyer that will handle your case.
Call 210-900-0400, 210-900-0400, or a lawyerforus.com.
Thank you, Rudy.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hello, I'm Dr. Torres, founder of the Institute for Functional Health here in the heart of San Antonio. Has the healthcare model of the past century let you down? This story sounds all too familiar. You see doctor after doctor, each one runs a few labs, prescribes a new medication, and invites you back in a few months for prescription refills, likely without a game plan. You're stuck in this endless cycle, while quite frankly, you don't feel much better than you did when you first started. Sure, your labs may improve. Your doctor may say everything looks normal, but you know better. You don't feel any better. This is exactly why I invite you to visit us here at the Institute for Functional Health, where we have reinvented patient care and are proud to invite you to the future of integrated modern medicine. We offer primary care for when you're sick or need prescription refills. But more importantly, our entire team focuses on finding the root cause of your symptoms and getting you off of your medications. So if you are tired of masking symptoms and are ready to get to the root cause of your problems, call us for a free consultation. 468-1891. 468-1891.
With the tournament coming to town, San Antonio Sports Star is heading downtown for Yingling Lager Hoop City at Pinkerton's Barbecue. Starting March 24th, the Blitz, Halftime, and Saturday Morning Hangover will all be live at Pinkerton's Barbecue at Legacy Park, where you can watch the tournament games on the jumbo screen. Chances to win a Yingling Grizzly ice chest every hour during live broadcast, as well as Pinkerton gift cards. Enjoy Yingling Lager, Lager 99, Golden, and Yingling Flight for $4. Yingling Lager Hoop City at Pinkerton's Barbecue, the 24th through the 26th. The St. Patty's Day parties at the Roo Pub are legendary, and this year it will be the biggest St. Patrick's Day party ever. With the green beer flowing, it will be an all-day block party with all-day drink specials, live music on the outdoor stage, and DJs and college hoops inside at both the Roo Pub and next door at the Angry Elephant. It's a block party for the biggest St. Patty's Day party ever, Part 7 at the Roo Pub and Angry Elephant, 281 and Redland Road. It's a St. Patty's Day party, so we'll see you at the Roo.
The play is in. The Blitz with Joe Reinagel and Jason Minix. ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix.
What's going on, Jason? Anything to talk about today?
Nothing. Not a damn thing. I'm going to find out who's got the best chicken. No, I'm kidding. There is so much to get into today. Lots of NBA news. Spurs do play tonight. They've got Minnesota at home as they're trying to make their run. And the playoffs are right around the corner. And we've talked often about what's going to happen in New York with Kyrie when the playoffs get there. What we saw over the weekend is just bizarre that in New York, they lifted the mandate that to go inside a place, you have to be vaccinated, right?
Right.
But Kyrie still cannot play as a part of another ordinance that wasn't lifted, something about New York's private sector ordinance, which basically is confusing as it is. Somebody can come into your place of business unvaccinated and eat dinner inside like normal people, but they can't work there.
Wow. Okay.
Does that make sense?
No.
All right.
I'll take your word for it.
All right. So when you look at the mandate and where the New York mayor apparently is According to the New York Daily News, hang on. Don't you hate when something refreshes when you go back to it? The private sector vaccine mandate that was set by the former mayor but is being upheld by the current mayor basically means that you can't have employees there. I'm looking for the number. Here it is. 1,430 municipal workers, which is less than 1% of the city's workforce, were fired for refusing to get fully vaccinated or submit proof of vaccination. And what it means is the private sector vaccine, businesses may not allow any unvaccinated workers to work at their workplace. Workplace is defined as any location, including a vehicle, where you work in the presence of at least one other person.
Okay.
So it's a way for New York to force mandates on employees.
Right.
So they've allowed people to, unvaccinated, you can go to a restaurant and sit inside. You can go to a concert.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to the movie theater.
Right.
You can go to a basketball game. So Kyrie, who's unvaccinated, sat courtside at the Nets game the other night. He's 5 feet away from the floor.
Right.
He was high-fiving and hugging his teammates, but he couldn't play in the game because that was work. Yet he could sit courtside. Very confusing.
Very.
Looks odd because, he's not wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have to.
Right.
That's part of the new thing. He went in the locker room apparently after the game. The NBA has fined the Nets $50,000 for letting him in to the locker room.
I don't know if was it the Nets or was it him directly?
I think it was the Nets were the Woj tweet was the Nets.
Nets. Okay.
The NBA fined the Brooklyn Nets $50,000 for violating local health and safety protocols by letting Kyrie into the team's locker room on Sunday. And I think the NBA has to do that because that's part of their deal. Whatever the local rules are, they supersede whatever the NBA rules might be. And because that was quote unquote work time, it's not like anybody else could just walk into that locker room. It just is bizarre to me. And it doesn't look right. Kevin Durant just blasts the New York City mayor after the game.
It's ridiculous. I don't understand it at all. I mean, there's a few people in our arena that's unvaxxed, right? They lifted all of that in our arena, right? So I don't get it.
It's a second mandate that says he can come in but can't play.
Yeah, I don't get it. It just feels like at this point now, somebody's trying to make a statement or a point to flex their authority. But, everybody out here is looking for attention. And that's what I feel like the mayor wants right now, some attention, But he'll figure it out soon. He better. But it just didn't make any sense. There's unvaxxed people in this building already. We got a guy who can come into the building. I guess, are they fearing our safety? I don't get it. So, yeah, we're all confused. Pretty much everybody in the world is confused at this point. Early on in the season, people didn't understand what was going on, but now it just looks stupid. So hopefully, Eric, you got to figure this out.
He's right. It looks stupid. And I get it's the rules. You got to follow the rules, but at this point in time, it's just dumb.
It's dumb that he can sit courtside, interact with his teammates and players on the other team, but can't play in the game because of the mandate. What Kevin Durant did, I don't think helps the case any.
Probably not.
I mean, you're Kevin Durant. I'm pretty sure you can get a phone call into the mayor. You can probably get his cell number and call him. Calling him out. Yeah, he I don't know anything about the New York City mayor, but he certainly seems like the kind of guy that doesn't want to be called out like that.
Well, he's brand new.
So now you're going to get into a pissing match with Kevin Durant.
Well, and look, the mayor can change that rule if he wanted to. I'm just saying he can. He can change that rule. Look, if I'm a player from the San Antonio Spurs unvaccinated, I can play ball at Madison Square Garden.
Yep.
It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of in my life.
The mayor had said something when even the commissioner said, okay, it's time to change this.
Yes.
As we see mandates getting lifted everywhere. Now, Kyrie could easily fix this and go get vaccinated. Then he doesn't have to worry about it. But the mayor has said that his health officials is what he's going on. And when they tell him you can lift this other private sector mandate, then we can do that. And the other thing the mayor has said, we're not doing anything that is going to shut our city down again. So we're doing everything we can to stay open. And I can see all of that too. Whether I agree with it or not, I hear it.
That makes no sense.
He's not making an exception for a basketball player when 1,500 regular people lost their job for not getting vaccinated.
Which they shouldn't have lost their job. That's ridiculous.
Oh, I'm with you.
Okay, I'm going to go across the hall to KTSA real quick. I'll be right back.
There you go. I mean, but that's what it boils down to. I'm over all of this. I thought it was dumb when we were in Los Angeles, knowing that they were going to lift the mask mandates on Tuesday.
Yeah, right after the Super Bowl.
Right after we left.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, anywhere you went, they were checking your card and they were telling you to put your mask on, which was, it got to the annoying point knowing that, well, on Tuesday, it's all going away.
Exactly.
And the numbers are what they are, and I'm vaccinated. So why are we, but it did look stupid that Kyrie was sitting there. But with the playoffs around the corner, I wonder what Kevin Durant is saying to his teammate. Like, have you been doing your own research? Because he said you wanted to do your own research and you reserve the right to change your mind. Because playoffs start. They could have a play-in game, and right now they're the 8th seed. So they would host a play-in game that Kyrie would not be allowed to play in.
I have a feeling by that time he'll be able to play.
Well,
because that's what, April?
Yeah.
So we've got probably 3 weeks. Just miraculously, it will be lifted before the playoffs, and Kyrie will be on the floor.
And again, even Brooklyn changed their mind about Kyrie because remember at the beginning of the season, you're not getting vaccinated. We don't want a part-time player. Right. He was doing his own research.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to get a shot now because of principle. He doesn't want to look like he caved. But if I'm his teammate, dude, I need you.
Yeah.
I need you.
Well, they're the 8th seed because he hasn't played in a lot of games.
Well,
and Kevin Durant was hurt too.
They were the 2 seed when Kevin Durant got hurt. Right,
exactly.
But imagine they play a playoff series against Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't be able to play in any of the games.
None.
Because Toronto won't let him play because he's unvaccinated.
Yeah.
The Knicks aren't a factor, but if they have a play-in game in Brooklyn, he wouldn't be allowed to play in it. I guess it's better for them to stay not with home court because at least he'd be available for four games as opposed to 3 if they were if you see what I mean? You want to be the road team if you're Brooklyn. You don't want home court advantage.
You do. You're exactly right. And I don't mean to change the subject, but Ian Rappaport has just tweeted out that the Cowboys are giving DeMarcus Lawrence a new deal, according to his sources. So we'll continue to follow that. But
breaking news.
Yes.
D-Law stays.
Well, it looks like he's going to stay. So what does that mean now for Randy Gregory? Do you let him walk?
3-year deal worth $30 million, fully guaranteed to stay in Dallas.
Well, there you go.
Think about that for a moment. 3 years, $30 million, fully guaranteed. So is that $10 million per?
Well, it's just $30 million. I mean, however they want to pay it out because it's all guaranteed.
You wonder if it's going to be kind of like what Michael Gallup just signed, where the first year is only 2.
It may be.
And then it escalates as they expect more money to come in.
I have a feeling DeMarcus is not going to get paid $2 million this year.
No, but if it's 5 or 7.
I mean, they may have to, say, hey, we'll give you, I mean, if it's all guaranteed, that's interesting. Can they just say $15 million is a bonus, signing bonus?
No, because that would all count on this year's cap. Or no, that would be spread out over 3 years.
That's I don't know. That's interesting.
But say if it was, 5 this year, 10 next year, and 15 in year 3, there's your $30 million. It'll be interesting to see how the structure is. The good news is DeMarcus Lawrence is staying.
So now what does that mean for
Cowboys.
Randy Gregory? Do they still have enough money now to bring him back as well?
Well, the Cowboys had indicated that they thought they could get both to stay. They want to keep both.
Well, a lot may depend on what Denver is waving in front of Randy Gregory's face.
Which is true because he's got to go get his money as well.
Right. So
interesting. We'll keep, but at least D-Law is staying.
D-Law is going to stay put. And so I know you're happy about that.
Cowboys needed some good news and they got it.
It says here is the first, or Michael Gelton is saying he's the first defensive end to have his contract fully guaranteed.
And I know, and Michael Gelkin writes for the Dallas Morning News, Clarence Hill, nobody has structure on this 3 years. That's what I'm curious to see.
Also says Lawrence, and I didn't know this, but Gelkin says that he'll be the first one in history to have it guaranteed for 7 straight years. So the first contract was fully guaranteed as well?
Well, he had the franchise tags for a couple years.
True that.
So he's going with
that.
the Kirk Cousins mentality. And
That's not a bad mentality to go with.
Well, again, I'll take less for fully guaranteed money.
Speaking of Kirk Cousins, that guy is living under a luckiest star in the planet. My goodness. Wow. Sorry, I just he's got a fairy godmother or something.
He certainly has something. Lots of news on the NFL front, lots of news on the baseball front. DeMarcus Lawrence is back. We'll try to find the structure of that. I'm not seeing anybody tweeting any of the details, but 3 years, $30 million, fully guaranteed as he stays in Dallas, according to his agent, David Cantor. So very happy man to get that deal done. And Randy Gregory, they said they were close. And my guess is if the Cowboys were close on Randy Gregory, they were close with DeMarcus Lawrence at the same time, which means both are still in play. They don't have to walk one of the two contracts by any stretch. We'll talk more about that and what's going to happen with Carlos Correa as we continue here on the Blitz. You know, it's if you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, as we head into the springs and summer, you need your logo on any kind of gear. You know, you need to get into Sammy's Embroidery Club down on San Pedro. Well, he's got all the big name brands. Nobody has better prices. And he's the only company in Texas that offers one-day turnaround, and not just embroidery, silkscreen shirts as well for any occasion. Sam has over 700 uniform lines to choose from and the largest selection of caps, including the popular Richardson style cap in stock. So you need any of that done, you get into Sammy's Embroidery Club. If you need athletic uniforms done, get them done locally, get them done with Sammy's Embroidery Club. Whether it's your beer league softball team, maybe you're in a bowling league, you need some new shirts done, you're managing or coaching a little league baseball, softball, soccer team, you can do the uniforms, the travel bag, the warm-up gear. Sam can do it all for you. Call Sammy's Embroidery at 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or better yet, get into that massive showroom down on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or check the website samsembroidery.com for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagle. San Antonio Sports Star Drive to End Hunger is going on now through March 25th. Just go to sasportstar.com to give what you can, or just find drop-off locations. It's all presented by the Institute for Functional Health, Rambler Sparkling Water, Copenhagen Imports, and Airtron.
If you're having any issues at the house with your plumbing, your heater, your AC, you know there's one company to call, and that is Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. 210-651-5899. And I can't wait till we're past the point of some days it's the heater, some days it's the AC. I'm ready for that AC to be on full blast and for the warmer temperatures, but you want to make sure your AC is ready to go for those warmer days and those hot summer days that are coming. Make sure you get your AC unit tuned up and ready for the summer heat, because you don't want to have an issue in July when it's 103 outside. And Quarter Moon, they can get you tuned up, but they have great maintenance programs that ensure your unit is ready for every season. Plumbing issues, no better company than Quarter Moon. Big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. At Quarter Moon, they do not have commissioned sales reps. They'll provide estimates and second opinions. They have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And at Quarter Moon, they are green certified. 210-651-5899 is the phone number. 651-5899 or online, quartermoonplumbing.com.
Things were a lot different in 1948. That's the year my grandfather opened the first Ewald equipment dealership. Since then, there have been a lot of changes, but one thing that hasn't changed are the Ewald family values. Hi, I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. As the largest Kubota dealership in the U.S., we know a thing or two about the Kubota products we sell. Plus, after you buy your new Kubota, we'll take care of the maintenance for you to make your life easier. So come by one of our locations to find those old-fashioned family values from the Ewald family and Kubota.
Taste of the Northside is back and at a new location. Join us Thursday, April 7th from 6:30 to 11:30 at the Dominion Country Club. Hosted by Brighton Center and presented by HEB. This Fiesta event for foodies is one inclusive ticket price that includes parking, entry, live entertainment, and unlimited food tastings for $125. Purchase tickets at tasteofthenorthside.org. Proceeds benefit Brighton Center, providing an educational and developmental foundation for children with disabilities and delays.
Dave Ramsey here. The only water softener I recommend is a quality water softener from Connecticut. It really is the last water softener you'll ever own.
ConnecticutSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Wait, aren't these all charitable donations?
At Magda's Tax Prep, every person
I'd
counts.
rather not have to file for an extension.
She needs new auditors to maximize returns on her family time.
On itemized deductions. Hey, can someone help with these 1099s?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Which team is king of the conference? We're about to find out as 68 teams will battle it out to get to New Orleans. It's conference tournament time, and the NCAA tournament hangs in the balance. Don't miss a minute. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
Hey guys, it's Rudy J. Let's talk the biggest stories in sports tomorrow morning, 7 till 10 on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
And that big story that those boys will be talking about tomorrow morning is DeMarcus Lawrence staying in Dallas.
Wow, just broke.
It just broke, and Jane Slater just tweeted out, imagine, always loved doing live TV with Michael Irvin. This was Michael Irvin's response. He's on NFL Network Live with Rich Eisen and Jane Slater coming in to break the news. This is hilarious.
He's staying in Dallas.
Thank you, God. Well, thank you, God. I just said thank you, D. Lawrence, too.
Well, Jane, what are your thoughts, Jane?
Yeah, thank you, God. I mean, that's Michael Irvin's reaction to D-Law staying in Dallas. Thank you, God.
I think he echoes Cowboy fans all across the country right now. I know you haven't smiled all day until right now.
Well, because the Cowboys weren't a better team. Now, and they're still not as good at wide receiver. But
well, are they a better team? I mean, you always had D-Law. He wasn't gone.
Well, no, I think a lot of people had him out, and that was one of the reasons why every mock draft had the Cowboys taking an edge rusher. And you got to wonder what that means for Randy Gregory, because clearly the Cowboys are in conversations with both.
Yep.
And the fact that they get D-Law done on this fully guaranteed deal while still negotiating with Randy Gregory, I don't know that they're spending time negotiating both if they didn't think they were going to win both. Our Rob Thompson chimes in on Facebook Live. D-Law is the Kirk Cousins of defensive linemen. See, we said that about 10 minutes ago.
That's right.
That's what it boils down to, that the 7 straight years of fully guaranteed contracts. And I kind of go through the history, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you guys tend to do that, although
we'll do that.
Doesn't it seem like his agent and Steven, they're always in these weird tug of wars, and it looks bleak, and somehow they figure out a way to get it done? I mean, it feels like this is the rodeo that the Cowboys play with Tank.
Yeah, with Tank, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean, it's just like, he's gone. Oh, it's not going to happen. I sign here.
Well, I think what made this the deal that it turned out to be, I mean, it's a win-win for both sides, but Tank didn't want to go anywhere. He wanted to stay in Dallas. So that makes a big difference. When a player doesn't want to leave, he doesn't want to go to another team, then you're going to make things work. You're going to do whatever it takes. This just happened to work out great for everybody, the Cowboys and for Tank, because, well, I mean, my goodness, here's another Michael Gelkin tweet. Let me just read this.
All right.
This will will help you here.
And you know this is big when the glasses go on and the computer screen gets picked up and comes closer to your
face. I can't see that, and now it's moving down, and I can't see. Cowboys began the day with their left defensive end and running back counting a combined $45 million against the 2022 cap. Imagine that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of money. $45 million for two guys.
John Machota tweets that the deal is actually for $40 million over 3 years with $30 million fully guaranteed.
Right.
So it's not completely full. There must be some things in there. Now they just got to figure out La'el Collins. And I think if you could figure out a trade partner for La'el Collins, or you end up bringing him back on a completely reworked deal, and I don't even know if that's an option. But the Cowboys are coming up with some cap room to be able to go sign somebody named Bobby Wagner, somebody named Jordan Hicks. Somebody is going to get some big name player is going to end up on a 1 or 2 year deal with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, you got to figure it's somebody. Could it be a wide receiver?
I don't think it's going to be a wide receiver, although I mean, sure, it could be a wide receiver, but I wouldn't bet that they'd spend money on a wide receiver with what they just did. But could it be an offensive lineman? Could it be somebody on the defensive side to help linebacker shore up that linebacker spot if Leighton Vander Esch is walking? Or could they end up bringing Leighton Vander Esch back? And they still got to take care of Randy Gregory, but they've got some cap room. And they'll have more cap room when La'el Collins' future is in cement.
We'll see what happens, but you got to be right. I mean, they're obviously targeting someone because they have some money now to go out and spend, and they're targeting somebody. And whether that's a Bobby Wagner or not, and maybe that's why Wagner's been quiet. You're negotiating with the Cowboys. You say, hey, just give us a minute to make some room, and we'll make you an offer. That's a possibility. And then again, everybody, Bobby Wagner's the shiny new toy that's sitting out there. Is he worth it?
Well, I mean,
I don't know. I don't know. He's been pretty good for Seattle. That's for sure.
On this, and he reunites with Dan Quinn. Now, think about Lawrence's cap number this year drops to $14 million. So if my math is correct, the Cowboys are saving $13 million off of that $27 million cap number. Is that correct? We're doing this in real time.
Yes,
math is math. But,
yes.
But he was a $27 million cap hit. Now he's a $14 million cap hit. So that's $13 million freed up.
So you figure the Cowboys now, before this, well, you got to be a genius. They were about $20 million above, weren't they?
Yeah.
In the plus side.
Look, to understand capology, you have to have three different math degrees and not work in radio.
Well,
right?
The only
smarter people will let us know.
Yeah, the only thing that frustrated me about the Cowboys was it just seemed like everybody else could go spend whatever money they want, and the Cowboys couldn't.
The Cowboys have a plan. Whether we agree with the plan or not is one thing. But at least we're seeing ultimately D-Law's done. He's staying. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Amari Cooper traded, and Cleveland is eating 100% of that salary. That's the only thing about the Amari Cooper trade that I like. In fact, I love that they took on 100% of his salary. And guys that I know and respect and love, like an RJ Ochoa, seem to fail to grasp that aspect of it. That was the positive part of Amari getting traded to Cleveland. Could there have been better offers? Maybe when it comes to pick compensation. But the fact that Cleveland took 100% of that salary was the best thing that the Cowboys could have gotten for Amari Cooper. There's no dead money involved.
That's perfect. And when you look at it, and as much criticism as the Jones family gets, I mean, you look at the big picture right now, and it looks like they had a plan going into this thing. It just wasn't fast enough for a Cowboy fan.
And again, or splashy enough, at least not yet. But if you're a betting man, if you're a betting man, the Cowboys still not a safe bet because they got to get some offensive line help before you start heading off to Vegas and putting up a bunch of money and that sort of thing on the Dallas Cowboys for next year. Because still today, they are not as good as they were when the season ended in the first round of the San Francisco 49ers.
That's true, but there's a lot of time left because the Wednesday is the day when all of these contracts can be signed officially. So there's plenty of time. Yeah, I know what a safe bet is.
Tell me.
I got a great safe bet for you. You go to Vegas right now and put your money all over. And that's the fine folks at Stevens Roofing. You'll win that bet, I promise you, because these folks are a sure bet. In fact, they're proud to serve all the great people of South Texas. A family-owned business. They're right here in San Antonio. They are a local company, not one of those fly-by-night companies that you see come around when there's a storm or something else going on with roof damage and they knock on your door and try to get you to buy all kinds of stuff. That's not Stevens Roofing. They're a family-owned business. They're San Antonio through and through. In fact, they're licensed by the city of San Antonio, and they do it all for you: commercial, residential, metal, composition, free estimates. They'll let you know what it's going to cost before they start the job. They've got financing available, and the best part about it is if you've got an insurance claim, they're going to work with your insurance company. That is awesome. They're going to guarantee their work in writing, and then they're going to stand behind that work. They're going to make sure you're happy. So here's what I want you to do. Write this number down, 210-785-0994, or you can read all about them at stevensroofing.net. And just don't forget, Stevens Roofing is your local roofer.
The madness has begun. The office pools, the school pride, and those do-or-die games. Hey, we love it too. That's why we keep you up to date with the latest from the tournament. San Antonio Sports Star.
It's going to fall. Unbelievable.
ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar is San Antonio's home for all things sports and games. With 4 area locations, visit us at North Star, Nacogdoches Medical Center, or the St. Mary's Strip. Slackers has you covered with 7 days a week happy hour starting at noon and wall-to-wall HD screens and projectors for your sports viewing pleasure. Catch all your favorite sports programming at Slackers. We are San Antonio's home for all things sports and games. Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar. Find us on Instagram and Facebook at Slackers Bar SA.
My name is Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for 50 years. I went to school here. I graduated from law school here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after a serious injury or a fatality collision for more than 27 years. If you're in your car right now, chances are you're seeing an attorney billboard, and you'll probably see 3 or more of those on your commute today. How do you decide who to call? Who to trust? I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. I'm experienced. I have a long track record of success, and I run my firm like my father did for over 50 years of practicing law here. I believe that a personal, trusting relationship with my client matters. With my firm, I meet with you. I answer your questions. I handle your case. For many lawyers you see on the billboard, your case will not be handled by the attorney on that billboard. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. If you or your family needs an experienced attorney you can trust, an attorney that will personally handle all of the issues after a serious injury or fatality, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson, 900-0400, 210-900-0400, or my website, alawyerforus.com.
Live, local, loud. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star. Joe Reinagle, Jason Minix, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix.
What a fun day it's been.
Dude.
My goodness.
Fast and furious.
Hits just keep coming all day long. This is fabulous.
And of all days, we have a short show today. We are out in 30 minutes. We got some NBA basketball coming up from ESPN Radio. Nuggets and 76ers.
That'd be a good one.
So we're out, which is great. The studio, and it'll be sunshine. Go home, fire up the grill, put a good steak on that grill because it's steak night.
That sounds good.
Absolutely.
Steak night.
Everybody should have a steak tonight.
I agree. If I had a grill to put it on. Are you cooking steaks for everybody then? Or?
I'm cooking steaks for everybody that's going to be at my house. Was at Tri-County earlier and got myself a nice bone-in ribeye.
I almost weaseled my way into that. That was close.
You guys can come over if you want.
Well, you know.
BYOS.
Bring your own steak. I can't wait, man. I spent most of the weekend, I'll be honest with you, looking at Traegers.
Did you really?
And others, but mostly Traegers, just kind of trying to figure out what I want. And the right one for me.
You're going to get an Ironwood 885.
Well, I don't know that I'm going to do
Yes,
that.
that's what you're going to get.
Why? Because that's what you have.
Yes. And because I did all that research too. The Timberline is fantastic. I just don't know that third shelf that it has. I don't know if you'll ever use it.
I'll never use it.
No.
So I don't know. We'll see. And then I'll cook you a steak. You won't even have to ask and say, Jason, come on over. Your steak's on the grill.
I'll tell you what, man, there's a whole bunch of meat rolling around in this radio station.
There is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not dead cow. Okay. It's dead something else. And I would prefer dead cow.
But if I were to grill this up for you and not tell you what it is, you would eat it and go, man, that's fantastic.
I don't know that I would.
You would at least try it.
I would try it.
Yeah.
But you couldn't tell me what it was.
No, I won't tell you what it is.
Okay.
For all you know, it's ribeye.
Until I taste it.
Until you taste it.
Yeah. Now, I don't know. I'm just not into a lot of exotics.
Mhm.
I'm not a deer guy.
Yeah.
Never really have been. Bison's good.
Bison is good.
Bison is good.
I know. I saw Rob yesterday on his Facebook. He did some water buffalo steaks, but I didn't see Rob at the station today. I imagine the loss of an hour of sleep might have killed that man.
I just want buffalo.
Sure.
I know. I'm just asking.
My man's got dad jokes.
It makes sense to me, right?
Yes, Joe.
I would assume that's the case. Rob, let me know, will you?
Although I don't know how they turned out. Yes, Renee, today is Valentine's Day for guys. That's why you have a steak.
Is it really?
It really is.
Oh, I remember this conversation.
It is
now.
March 14th.
Okay.
It is a very special day.
I remember this conversation.
Every
now.
guy
Yes,
gets
yes,
a
yes.
steak today.
Okay, yes, that's right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I remember this.
So now you got to change your dinner plans.
I'm going to have to, yeah.
Whether you're grilling your own or you're heading out.
Well,
or you go with one of the two, either way. But both is better.
Both is much.
Both
yeah,
is better.
Both is better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Joe just got it.
I just got it.
Yeah.
I'm a little slow. I remember. I'm not good with dates.
Uh-huh.
I remember this conversation.
March 14th is one.
I should have put it in my phone.
Yes.
So a little reminder pops up, so to speak.
So one of those days you don't need a reminder.
Well,
I mean, Jimenez has to schedule it with his wife, but for the rest of us,
well,
it just happens. Off schedule.
All right. We got basketball coming up tonight, huh?
Yeah, 6:30. We're out early. Nuggets and 76ers coming up. Spurs do play tonight as well. And you look at this Spurs team. Congrats to Greg Popovich.
Yes.
The record was set on Friday night, and it was fantastic. Most of us were still at Slackers on Friday, not expecting the Spurs to win that game, which, of course, that's the game they won. And
Yeah.
man, they balled out in that fourth quarter.
Yeah.
The comeback, the shots, you knew that the players wanted it for Greg Popovich. And the reaction, Pop just tried to make it like a regular post game. And as Mike Finger wrote beautifully in the Express News, for 11 seconds on the court, he was surrounded and had no choices. The players were jumping around him, and then they doused him with water. The video that they put out, and any question about whose team this is, and I don't think there was, but it was DeJounte in the locker room presenting Pop with the game ball and leading everything. And then the accolades, the tweets, but the video that the Spurs put out about the 199 players.
That was fantastic.
It was. And I'm looking at them, only 199?
Yeah.
Doesn't it feel like there should be more than that?
It does. Now, is that everybody?
Everybody that is
That was everybody.
I mean, there was a mink patir sighting in that video.
Was there a Rodman sighting? I didn't see Rodman.
Did Rodman play for Pop when he was the coach?
It was Pop, wasn't it?
Oh, Pop was the GM. Trying to remember. Pretty sure he did. Or was he on the video? Yeah, Edwin's
I don't
grabbing
know.
his phone, looking it up.
Let's see.
Or
maybe Edwin already knows the answer.
Wasn't Pop an assistant with Rodman?
Well, he was the GM
Or, yeah.
when, because Rodman was here 93, 94. He might have been gone already. Somebody knows the answer to this.
Was Kawhi part of the video?
Yes, Kawhi was very much a part of the video.
Was he?
What I find interesting, it's a great question, Edwin Hafner, producing today. The organization publicly with how they handle that dude that we don't speak of, that Kawhi was a big part of it. There was even a photo, and I'm not sure if it was the Spurs that put it out, but, there was Tim and there was Dave and there was Kawhi, and, and I saw somebody fixed it for him by putting Cody's face over Kawhi's. But you wonder, from a professional standpoint, the Spurs have to acknowledge Kawhi Leonard's existence. Hell, the dude helped us win a championship, got us to 2 finals, helped get us to 2 finals. But the hate, the sports hate that we have as fans for that dude is deep. But organizationally, they include, he's a part of the history and he helped win a title. And I can't figure out if it's because the bad blood isn't as bad within the walls at One Spurs Lane, or is it we can't treat a player like that in recruiting efforts to attract free agents because we can't act like the dude never existed.
Well, they can't act like he never existed. Obviously, he was a huge part of that 2014 title. But what he did, you talk about burning bridges, it was a nuclear bomb.
It was.
On a bridge that he just completely destroyed. I mean, everything that the Spurs were moving forward towards, everything that they had planned was blown up because of what Kawhi Leonard did. And I remember it well, and I remember talking with some of the Spurs doctors, some of the coaches, some of the players even. Kawhi just became a cancer.
He was.
I mean, and it was bad. He didn't want to be here, and he was a bad guy. At that time, I don't know maybe he's changed, but at that time, he was a bad guy.
I know that there are 3, at the time, current players, different settings, privately, F that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah.
He had no friends in that locker room.
None.
But I see the way the Spurs treat him now, or at least include him in stuff like videos. And I can't figure out, is that pop in an olive branch, or was it as bad as we thought?
No, it was as bad as we thought.
Or is it, from a recruiting standpoint, we've got to show, once you're a family member, you're always a family member, even if you're that family member, and we all have that uncle, right? I mean, pun intended with his uncle,
yeah.
Right? I mean, you look at it, and I do find that part interesting. Now, I look at Kevin Garnett this weekend, got his jersey retired by the Boston Celtics. I don't ever think of Kevin Garnett as a Celtic. I think of him as a Timberwolf.
Sure.
He won a championship, though, in Boston. Apparently, he's mended fences with Ray Allen, too. But, I haven't. I mean, I can't think of a thing, me neither, a thing that where you would say, he helped us win a title. We got to retire that dude's number. That will never happen, and it doesn't take much to get your jersey retired by the Spurs organization.
Well, look, I don't think there's any chance that Kawhi Leonard has his jersey hanging in the rafters of the AT&T Center. Look, you can't just wipe history away, as has been tried to do in this country for the last 5 years. You can't just wipe history away. History is what it was.
Yes.
You can't change it. And Kawhi Leonard was part of the Spurs history. So you have to acknowledge that history, but you move on, and you don't have to overly, make Kawhi a part of the family, because he wasn't at the end. He made a choice to leave this family in the most devastating way possible. And so, once a guy's gone, he's gone, but you can't ignore the history of the San Antonio Spurs franchise when he was here. So you have to acknowledge that.
Absolutely. And I look at, it's funny because as we're talking about this, Pop talking pregame right now before tonight's game against Minnesota, according to a tweet from Tom Worsborn, joked, quote, "Some people I don't want to have a piece of the record, like Steve Kerr. He's got no part of it, none." Insert Kawhi Leonard, Pop, just one time. I just wish Pop would say, yeah, I love the video except for 2 seconds.
Right. Except for
dude.
that one guy. But, Pop and Steve Kerr are,
yes.
They're close. They're very close. And Steve Kerr, dude, I will never forget. Steve Kerr probably, I wouldn't say gave me more access, but I talked to Steve Kerr more when he was here as a player than just about anybody. And he was always willing to sit down and talk with you and talk with you and give you, he wasn't just, well, we got to play hard and, it's one play at a time. Steve would give you what you needed. And so I'll always remember Steve Kerr fondly, for sure.
Well, no, I love Steve. And when he was working at TNT, I mean, Steve was great. He used to come on the show all the time. Yeah, I was kind of sad when he became a coach because
I know
the access wasn't quite the same. We're an executive with Phoenix there for a while, but Steve was great because he would answer your questions, but it was the private conversations when you weren't reporting that were fantastic.
And just a good dude.
Yeah.
I mean, just a good guy, always pleasant. If you saw him, hello, he'd act like he's, happy to see you, whether he was or not, I don't know, but he always acted like he was. And so he's just a good guy. And I'm really happy for the success that he's had with Golden State. And I think he's going to be a coach in this league for a long time.
Spurs, Minnesota tonight. And really, when you look at the Spurs as they make that run for the play-in game, tonight's a big one. They're running out of games. That's the problem. They are running out of games.
True.
And that's what baffles me about Saturday night when you rested a bunch of guys in a game where healthy, you figure that should have been an easy win for the Spurs. And you can't say that about many games for this Spurs team.
I don't think you say that about any game because we've made that mistake before.
Yeah. True. I mean, it's part of it. Other big sports news today, and again, we're out early today in about 10 minutes or so with Nuggets and 76ers coming up. Carlos Correa still doesn't have a home, but it does look like he could end up back in Houston.
It looks that way? Or is that your wishful thinking?
Both. Both. There are some signs that are pointing that the Astros could keep Carlos Correa.
Well, they're going to have to pay him a fortune. Somebody is going to pay him a fortune.
Baseball's got that kind of money.
Apparently so.
They've got cash.
Wow. Yeah, somebody's going to pay that man. I mean, he's going to need an armored car to drive up to his house.
Well, and it's funny because his Houston home is for sale. Just went on the market last week, and that made all the news.
That's not a good sign.
Well, it's a couple $1 million, but it looks like a small house with the money that he's getting. I think he's
get a bigger one.
He's going to get a bigger house with a lot of land. He got married. I mean, that was his bachelor pad, and she needs to come in and have her own place.
Okay.
You know how that works. So, I mean.
And you're just hoping that's not in a suburb of New York City.
No. But I know it's wishful thinking, but there are a lot of reports that looks like Carlos Correa could end up staying in Houston.
Well, that'd be great.
They're at least talking and it looks close, but spring training is underway.
It is.
Kind of nice. So what's your deal? What was our deal? I forgot our bet.
On the Aggies?
No.
On the wearing the
wearing baseball gear. Are you still mad or are you over
No,
it?
we can do it now. They're back. Why would I be mad?
Well, you said you weren't going to wear Cardinal gear all year.
I didn't say that.
You did say that.
I never said that.
Edwin, didn't he say that?
I never said that.
Unfortunately, yeah, because the Cardinals aren't, those are ugly colors, but yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you did say that. You were mad at the lockout, and
I was mad at the lockout.
Fan.
Yeah, you said you're not going to wear any.
I'm a Brewers fan, sorry.
Dude.
Nobody asked.
Do they have a team in Milwaukee?
Yeah. I won the division last year.
Oh, well, okay.
Apparently a good one.
Not that good.
How does a kid that goes to Johnson High School end up a Brewers fan?
I was born in Milwaukee.
Oh.
Okay.
Are you a Green Bay fan?
No, the only team I root for in Wisconsin is the Brewers.
Okay.
See, I like Edwin. Big baseball guy. That's good.
Cowboys fan?
Absolutely. I was born into a Cowboys fan.
All
Oh,
right.
wow.
Good
Okay.
family. They raised you right, except for the baseball.
I don't recall saying I would never wear Cardinals gear again.
Yeah, you were mad. That was going to be your statement.
Well, it was.
And you were forcing me not to wear Cardinal gear too, which was pretty easy, but then you made it Astros gear.
Did I say for the whole year?
For the whole year.
I said that?
That's what you said.
I'd have to.
You're going to become Michael Jimenez and start flip-flopping.
I know. I did. I don't recall.
Different day, different opinion. I don't recall saying that.
I don't recall saying that.
Uh-huh.
Well, Jimenez doesn't even give you that. It's just today it's this. Or 2 weeks ago it was something else.
Yeah.
And, 2 weeks from now it'll be something else.
Sure.
But I don't recall. I'll have to go back in the archives and figure that out.
You can do that.
I probably was going to wear Cardinal gear to, Root Pub Wednesday night.
I wouldn't.
No?
No, I wouldn't.
I think it'd be good. People would appreciate it.
I wouldn't. Although, I think you should wear red for the rest of the week.
Okay.
I mean, I saw you out at a bar on Saturday night.
Uh-huh.
The old ladies love you, and if you're not wearing green, you're going to get pinched all over the place, man. I will say this. When you are out in public,
whoa,
Joe Reinagel has the over 60-year-old female crowd cornered.
It's done, baby. I would be the luckiest man alive if I was a single guy.
Single and 80, going after those young ladies.
Right. Hey, when you get beggars can't be choosers, right? I mean, oh my gosh.
We were out at U2 cover band, tribute band at Sam's Burger Joint, which was fantastic.
It was great.
And this lady walked up to Joe. He's eating this big old burger, and she starts talking to him. I don't know. What do you figure she was? 70?
Probably.
Yeah. Loves you. Then she realized she wasn't talking to Bill Taylor.
Right. Yep.
And then after, we ended up at Picks. And I don't know, 5, 6 ladies of age.
Yeah. One was a little younger.
50?
Okay. That's younger.
You realize he's watching the 10 o'clock news.
Exactly. That's exactly right. I've realized that for a long time. That was kind of the audience of Ken's Five. But
they all watch Blue Bloods.
They must. But yeah, I mean, it was and then I have to introduce them to Maggie, who was standing there.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That was cool. The lady at Sam's, though. I gotta tell you. She walks up to me and she says, "Oh, I love you. You're the only one I trust."
Uh-huh.
And I'm going, and as soon as she said that, I'm like, oh boy, she doesn't know that's me. She says, "I just sure hope you don't go retiring like that other guy." I said, "Well, I am the other guy."
She was so disappointed you weren't Bill Taylor.
She was. That she walked off.
See, now I know why Bill Taylor is so popular.
Exactly.
Because he's popular.
There's two of us running around.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody thinks you're Bill, which is a long-running joke inside, but
it is.
Watch it. And then I got a tweet on Saturday from some lady that loves listening to this show.
Oh, my goodness.
But tweeted out at Jason Minix, at Bill
Ken's
Five, or whatever it is, right? Quit making fun of Bill and his Dairy Queen tacos.
Yeah. Because they're better than, her son thinks they were better than Taco Palenque.
Yeah. Because I'm sure her son is a taco expert. But the fact is,
you don't have to be a taco expert to know good stuff.
Every day for 3 months and tweeted at Bill Taylor.
Well, it happens. She apologized. She was very sweet.
She was.
And so
I kind of felt bad calling her out. Like, I don't know what Bill thinks of Dairy Queen tacos, but at Joe Reinagel 210 thinks they're great.
Yeah. And she said, "Oh, I'm sorry." It happens. It's been happening for 20 years. Bill claims that it happens to him too the other way.
Really?
Yeah, he'll say he's had conversations with people about the Spurs or the Cowboys or something to that effect, and then they finally snap and realize that it's Bill Taylor and not Joe Reinagel.
So when they're asking for, like, what are the Spurs doing?
Just talking sports.
And he talks about the forecast to try to Because we've all talked sports with Bill Taylor. You don't have to talk long to realize.
He's a Giants fan.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that'll tell you everything you need to know right
that's
there,
it.
right?
That's it. How are the Cowboys going to? Well, let me tell you, my Giants are like,
yeah.
You don't know sports. How's the weather?
It's just crazy how it happens. And then that though, what happened at Sam's was probably the most over the top that I've ever seen it.
Dude.
And when she's like, don't go retiring like that other guy.
She was so devastated.
Oh my gosh.
She was so devastated.
Yeah.
I mean, literally devastated. And you could tell she had her phone out and all that.
Yeah.
Like she was all ready to get a picture. And it wasn't Bill Taylor, and she never asked for the photo. You saw her putting it away.
And she just walked away.
Absolutely.
She may have cried.
She might have.
Probably went home. Her night was ruined.
I don't know. All the DVR episodes of Blue Bloods and what are the other shows on CBS that all the old people watch? Trying to think what my mother
I don't know.
watches.
You know, stuff like Survivor has been on for 100 years.
Yeah.
I know they don't watch that, right? Or they don't watch Big Brother because that's that show. I don't know how it stayed on the air, but it has. It's terrible. I'd be so proud if my daughter was on that show. Right? It's kind of like The Bachelor.
Big Brother?
Yeah. No, I'm being facetious.
Oh, sorry. Okay, good.
It's kind of like The Bachelor or The Bachelorette or whatever. Can you imagine?
No.
Dad, I'm on The Bachelorette.
No.
No,
don't do that to the family.
I can't even imagine that.
D-Law staying in Dallas. Michael Gallup staying in Dallas. Cedric Wilson off to Miami. Deshaun Watson meeting tonight in Houston with both the Saints and the Carolina Panthers.
That can't be all.
Apparently, it's a two-team race right now.
Can't be. I can't believe it. There has to be some other teams involved.
It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. It's going to be interesting to see. Tom Brady's back.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah, exactly. he unretired. Spurs tonight. We're out early.
Yeah.
We're done.
So is Brady on one of those farewell tours this year?
Apparently, he wants the rocking chairs. He wants all those accolades. That's what he wants to do. The 76ers and Nuggets are coming up. Enjoy your steaks tonight, gentlemen. Have a great night. Before we get out of here, let me tell you about Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram truck, part of the Ancira I-10 Auto Complex. Easy for me to tell you about and recommend Ancira because I am a longtime Ancira customer, and it's because of their great customer service before, during, and most importantly, after the sale. They're going to make sure you're getting the vehicle you want with the options and features that you're looking for. They'll give you great value on your trade-in, the best rebates and financing options that are available. And price made Ancira number one. Price keeps Ancira number one. So think Ancira. Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram truck, part of the Ancira I-10 Auto Complex over there on I-10 West between Wurzbach and Huebner.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new